And we are live right now. 2-1-0.
Hey, Eric.
Hi there, Luke.
Hey, Huntz.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Good.
So we have Huntz Lou in the house. You should get closer to the microphone. Yeah, scoot up, man. Scoot up. We're actually streaming live, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We figured out sound.
Yeah, we should have sound, and it should be okay.
Nice.
So yeah, let's hope that works anyway. So, awesome.
Yeah.
And this is,
Episode 4.
Episode 4. So are we counting that first one that's sort of like episode 0? Does that count? Or what is
Actually,
that?
we should call this episode 3 since you called it episode 0.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But how was your week?
Good, man.
Good.
Everything's been cruising along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We saw the Oscars.
The Oscars.
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I only watched I only watched a little bit of it. How about you, Hans? Did you?
No, I tuned in maybe the last 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
Just really good at awards, yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch any of the movies, so.
I
watched Black Panther.
Make sure you get closer.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was really rooting for Black Panther because I thought it was impossible for Black Panther to win, and I kind of have a thing for the underdog, But it won something, right? Like it won the costume.
It won costumes, yeah.
But we have a friend who was a part of the Spider-Man Spider-Verse. I actually have a couple friends who are part of Spider-Man Spider-Verse.
Very cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
I was.
What was that nominated for? Best animated.
Yeah, best animated feature.
Just best anim. Yeah,
Okay.
and I mean it won the big. That's a big award.
Yeah.
It turns out. Oh, it's funny. The weirdest thing is I saw a picture of. There's 2 directors, right?
Mm-hmm.
One's a Latino dude. One's a black dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched that a picture. I saw it and I was like, dude, that's my friend's brother. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
A friend of mine from like junior high, high school type of thing. Not super close, but no, we're friends.
Oh.
And that's his oldest brother, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to him. Yeah. It was. I mean, it was. I was stoked that that movie. I mean, because the animation for that movie was really kind of like nothing I'd really seen. They were doing a lot of weird effects. Like, I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Like
it blew me away.
Weren't there moments where you kind of like were looking around like, did I not get the 3D glasses?
Oh, in the beginning.
There's some weird parts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what is that?
Like, they're kind of glitchy, it was just mind-blowing. I was like, well, this is, all right. I didn't have no expectations going into it. I was like, oh, this is going to be like a...
Wait, I want to adjust Huntz's mic.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm...
Okay.
I think that's better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, it's coming off.
Yeah, you're
Aw.
gonna you kind of have to like
What
make
happened
out
here?
with the.
Hold on.
I think my sister called this thing a phlegm guard, and it took me like a while to realize that she was just fucking with me. But I like to think that it's a phlegm guard. I'm like, hey. Oh no. But yeah, and then whatchamacallit? Green Book one, and never saw that, haven't seen that, but like I'm actually personally kind of like fascinated by the entire idea of what the Green Book was, and
I don't know anything about that. Do you know? I mean,
basically it was a guide book that was created so that African Americans could who were traveling, like going on road trips, knew where they could be able to stay, because it was there was the segregated South, and then even
Wait, was there really a book?
yes,
No.
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, it was called the Green Book.
And was it green?
I
don't know why, but okay.
I think at least the first couple editions were.
Really?
Yeah.
So do people have copies of it? Is it literally in print?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
shit.
it's no longer in print anymore because we don't
It's out of
really.
print, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of like gone,
Yeah.
But it's kind of inspired by an actual publication that was created,
But it was a controversial win, right? Do you know why? I don't really know the context.
I heard something about the way the votes are tallied. Is the reason why the Green Book kind of won. Like, it could have been, number 1 was probably a variety of artists, movies, but then number 2 probably got got a lot of votes for, say Green Book. Maybe nobody knows for certain, but people are speculating that like because it was like a solid number 2, but number 1 was all over the place. Like once they tallied up the points.
What are you talking about? I'm so
Like,
confused.
It's
why-
a weighted, like voting system.
Yeah, the voting
Oh,
system.
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
why, and which is the reason why it was able to rise to the top.
Mm.
I don't know. I heard something about this on like NPR, and I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Mm.
But I hear people referring to it as like, the equivalent of, the time Crash won.
Yeah. Was Crash that bad though? I'm not even sure.
I never watched it, but
I think I did. I think I did see that. But I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad.
it still comes up as a joke.
Yeah. I know. I saw a lot written about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and then I'm like.
We're
what
still
else?
having microphone problems.
Yeah, it was slowly tilting. It was like
man.
leaning off.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. This show's a work in progress.
We're
I think we need to have the thing leaning forward rather than pushing back.
like that. Oh, it
still falls forward.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's because it's not like a
wood
solid,
Oh,
base.
it's like in a divot right here. That's why.
Oh, that way? All right. Sorry, we're gonna do some more adjustments. Sorry about that.
But I'm
Bummer. I had all day to prep this table, and I didn't do that right.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah. All right. Yeah.
So I'm currently working on my upcoming weekend. I will be going to Chicago for.
Are we still talking about Oscars? Oh no, no more.
No, no, no,
Oscar
no.
Oscar talk's done.
We're trying to plow through this what's going on current thing that way we could get to talking with Huntz about his art and
Man,
everything.
this is a disaster. What's going on?
Yeah,
here?
I think we should probably.
Like a wooden block or something.
Yeah.
Oh, this table sucks.
But
Oh,
yeah.
I see. The table's also at an angle. Oh, this is gonna keep sliding probably.
Yeah.
Do you want me to slide this one to him and I could hold the mic?
No, it's cool. We need to be some wood.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Well, let me. I'll try and entertain people for a little bit. Oh, are we getting people responding to us and sending questions and stuff? Kind of seems like we are. But so I've got a show this weekend in Chicago at Rotofuji Gallery. The show is called Between Black and White, and it is a collection of black and white paintings and drawings. If you are from Chicago or are in the general area, please come on out. But the reason why I even brought this up is because I thought it would be a fun way. Oh, nice.
Super sturdy now. All right, we're back.
All right. The reason
Sorry, everybody. Gosh, that was horrible.
The reason why I brought Chicago up is because I thought this would be a funny way to transition to what's his name, Jussie.
Oh yeah.
Jussie. What's his last name?
Smollett.
Yes. And that entire controversy. And I've been watching people talk about this, and a lot of people are all like, yeah, I knew from the beginning that he was full of shit and blah 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 and lying, and I didn't really think about it. I guess I did. I don't know. And it wasn't until I was listening to the Rogan and Dr. Phil podcast, and they were talking about it, and I think Dr. Phil pointed out because two people were waiting out in 9-degree weather.
No, not, so when you first said it, I thought you said 90, and I realized no, you're saying nine. Single digits.
Yeah,
and we're talking Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
so that's damn cold.
Just waiting, hoping that
So basically, freezing balls kind of temperature.
Yeah.
And wasn't he going to get a Subway sandwich?
Yeah.
In 9-degree weather.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
A cold cut sandwich in 90-degree weather.
Not even a nice the meatball sub or something with a hot cheese. At least that one's at least hot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
This is weird.
So, which kind of just suddenly, like, really like made me go, oh, I didn't read the, like, I mean, I'm in California, so I assume that the entire world is, feeling like, Los Angeles right now, which is warm.
Yeah.
Considering.
Oh, for sure.
But
anyways, this dude, is there any chance of possibility that he's innocent? Like this really happened?
Well, I heard also right now he's kind of like
he's denying it, right?
He's apparently he's still denying it, but he's
doubled down and tripled down, and just like no, and no.
And well, he's also saying like he's got like untreated drug problems. Apparently, this is something I also heard from like the podcast, according to Joe Rogan. But like, I'm assuming that he's more on top of it than I am.
Wow.
So because
wait, you're gonna go and see this guy then? No, I'm kidding.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping that would be really funny.
Yeah.
But
that's one of the craziest things though. Like, so when you first heard this, were you on top of the news when it first came out? Like, did you hear about it? Like same day?
Bit, yeah.
Because okay. So
I think there were people already questioning it a little bit.
Right away.
It seemed a little weird, like a little far-fetched.
So little do you guys know at home who are listening, Huntz likes Reddit, right?
You're a Reddit guy.
I've perused it.
I've been trying to get into Reddit lately.
So if you're on Reddit, you would have seen this really quick, and then there's a lot of comments. But I mean, as soon as I heard of it, I was like, this sounds weird. Like this does not sound legit. Like a noose, and it just too many things about it sounded like scripted.
Yeah,
it just didn't sound
especially
legit.
when you start reading the comments, a lot of people bring up points you don't really even think about.
And supposedly, what did he kept the noose on the whole time? Or
yeah,
something?
I think he apparently wore it to the hotel.
It's just weird.
It is weird.
Yeah. So yeah.
I
so,
mean, it's a shame. I
yeah.
feel like a lot of people were like really speaking out on behalf of him.
Mm-hmm.
Or,
Yeah.
For his cause, I guess, or not cause, but
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's not like beyond the realm of reality in this in the climate, in the social climate that we live in.
That's the thing.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, but it's just scary. But then to find out that
he made it up.
He probably made it all up. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it's like also, I mean, like there's been it's not uncommon. Like it's happened many. Like remember that woman who like drove her car off of the pier with her 2 kids in it and blamed it on like an African American guy.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like I was listening to NPR and they brought like a host just mentioned like an entire line of like weird kind of racially charged accusations that didn't happen.
Wow.
And I was just like, yeah, I guess, But
he was trying to be a hero though, right? That was sort of it. Like not a hero, but he survived it. He wanted to like speak out and be the spokesperson. Like this happened to me.
Right.
Like he was trying to like turn it into some kind of civil rights movement. Like I'm Rosa Parks. Yeah,
he was trying to be I think he was trying to be the quote unquote gay Tupac.
Yeah, is that what the gay Tupac?
Yeah, I think that's a quote that he said. He mentioned that in like one of his interviews.
He did.
Like, yeah, like,
but for me, kind of like one thing about it was I didn't really think about this was. I mean, he's gay. I kind of forgot about that, which is kind of cool. I just thought I was like, dude, this poor dude was attacked, right? That was sort of like the theme of it all. I never thought of him, being a gay Tupac or I don't know. You know what I'm saying? The gay part didn't even come out, which is kind of cool. He was just a dude, so
right.
Kind of like everyone was kind of thinking the crime was worse than anything else, and it wasn't about him. Like this was not a crime against a gay person; it was just a crime against a person. But then it's fake. Oh, dude! What a
world!
What did you do?
What a world!
Yeah. Now he's just a Reddit subject, right? Yeah. So Huntz has a lot of layers. I know that. Yeah. So him just mentioning Reddit, I saw him just kind of go, "Yeah, Reddit."
I've been trying to get into Reddit lately.
Cringeworthy, but
I don't really interact. I don't comment or respond. I just read the articles, read the comments.
Oh yeah,
mostly there for the comments.
I subscribe to the incel Reddit list because I think it's fucking hilarious.
What's that?
Incels.
I don't know. What is that?
It's the involuntarily celibate. Like really bitter, like men.
Wait, is that a subreddit? I don't even know what that is.
There's a subreddit for everything.
Yeah.
So probably. I mean, I've heard the term incels. I mean, I know what it means objectively, like people who are involuntarily celibate.
Uh-huh.
But I guess there's a whole people who actively proclaim themselves to be incels.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
And like, you know, they have like these really twisted ideas about like how women's role in society, and like, you know, it's just I find it terribly entertaining. You know, like entertaining in like a sick, like I like watching. It's like watching live. Was that live? Live feed? No, you know that one website where you can see all
Twitch?
No. It's live something.
Adult live
Live
cams?
Leak.
Adult live
Live
cams
Leak.
for you?
Yeah.
No,
No.
I'm kidding. I don't-
No, that's called Chatterbait, and it's but like
live leak.
Live Leak. Yeah, it's kind of like it's like watching Live Leak videos, but in text format.
Well, doesn't Live Leak have like a lot of violent videos too?
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's what Luke's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so.
It's like watching like
So there's incel related videos on Live Leak.
no. It's like just
I'm kinda confused.
reading the content is like
Watching a car
like
accident.
watching car accidents.
Oh, on Live Leak.
Like on Live
Oh,
Leak.
I get it.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah.
It's like a car wreck.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, you know,
Got you.
You know, like wow.
So
like,
how do you find this? Are you just typing in incels in the search
Yeah,
box?
you know,
Just
I
subscribe
found-
to the subreddit.
Yeah,
Wow.
subscribe to the subreddit.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I
Okay.
do.
Oh,
I do.
okay.
I just because like, you know, if I'm feeling down, I just need to like read some of that, and it makes
Wait.
gives me
You should check
perspective.
out this one I showed Eric the other day.
Yeah.
Called Delusional Artist. Have you heard of this?
Delusional artist is a subreddit.
Yeah, it's a subreddit.
and it's just got crazy things that pop up. People's artwork that is overpriced usually.
Yeah,
like really
it's
bad.
overvalued.
Yeah.
It's either like on
Yeah.
eBay or Etsy, and they're trying to sell like really bad renderings of things.
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh, it's a really popular one.
It's pretty popular.
Yeah. So this is at reddit.com/r/delusional artists, right? Artists or delusional artists. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that we're looking at a Tom Cruise and a drawing of Tom Cruise, and it's just so bad.
Yeah.
Is there a caption or anything, or is there like a price attached to that drawing?
No, it's
Is there a price? Sometimes there's a price.
Usually it's an artist trying
want
to
a
sell
portrait
their
like
work.
this?
Yeah.
Send me a PM with an image, and I will draw a sketch for $20 with
$20.
shading.
$20 not bad.
Like this
Yeah.
one,
Sometimes it's
35 in
$200,
full color.
$500.
You know.
Okay, so what other subreddits do you subscribe to, Luke?
I like
all the ones you could tell me about anyway.
Like-
I know there's some embarrassing ones.
Gundam and like you
Oh,
know that's
awesome.
kind of embarrassing. I subscribe to like, you know, the pop surrealism and like arts related stuff, and
Right.
then like, you know, like some like weird like just I don't know, just whatever like is ridiculous. If it's absolutely ridiculous, you know, I subscribe to it, and if it's like completely grotesque, I subscribe to it.
How about you, Huntz?
I had to unsubscribe from a lot of subreddits because it was just taking up way too much time. So
Oh,
now
yeah.
I just subscribe to like the basic ones, like I don't know,
Like what?
news, politics, NBA. 'cause I'm
Okay, so
into
this
basketball.
is boring. Which ones did you unsubscribe from?
Nothing. I can't. Nothing off the top of my head.
Okay.
I can't.
Oh, I
There's
subscribe
nothing
to
that
Incel
embarrassing.
Tears. That's the one I.
Okay, yeah, that's
So you knew that one, Huntz?
I've heard of
Oh
it.
my God.
Because you hear it mentioned, you know.
I don't
and-
even know
and
what this
You hear
is.
it like kind of referenced in comments.
Gotcha.
I don't venture into that area, like
Oh.
the Donald and stuff. I don't really read that stuff.
Oh, I'm into it. I am so
Do you
into
subscribe
it.
to that? The Donald?
The Donald?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
What is
I don't-
that?
I don't-
That's like-
it's got to be Donald
That's
Trump.
like
but
Trump's like, yeah,
Wow.
headquarters on Reddit.
I've never looked.
And a lot of them are just trolls, you know. So
Oh my gosh.
I've never looked.
Yeah.
So I do MMA, just
oh,
right?
okay.
Subreddits MMA.
Yeah.
I do NBA also, but I'm new to that one, and I do news, just our
Yeah,
news.
yeah.
And then
World
now
news,
I do
news.
that artist one. What was it? Delusional
Delusional
artist. I
artist,
have that.
yeah.
Art conspiracies. I look at that.
Oh,
Art
okay.
conspiracies or just
No,
conspiracy?
no, just conspiracies.
conspiracies, right,
Yeah,
right.
conspiracies, and that one's odd.
Do I subscribe?
And
to
there's
that
been a
one?
lot of interesting. There's a lot, that whole Pizzagate stuff is starting to get interesting. It's coming back into the news.
Really?
Is it?
It's kind of yeah
Oh, because what's happening in Florida?
because of that. Yeah.
The Patriots owner.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
And also the other guy got in trouble. I forgot his name. Epstein is no. Is that his name?
Epstein, yeah, is the guy who like had a like young like
Yeah.
had sex with
So-
kids.
So,
and-
as you look at that,
Or I
it's just
think.
the whole Pizzagate thing is starting to come back in because I think he's somehow he's linked to that too.
There's no validity behind Pizzagate, though, is
Well,
there?
it's like Comet Ping Pong, that shop. I don't know, Mike. You're starting to think it's real after a while, but you got to look at our conspiracies and take a look.
yeah,
on
you
there.
know, Bill
Anyway, so,
Clinton was
yeah.
like flying on his plane. Was going on traveling with him apparently. You know.
Oh my god, it's horrible. It's gnarly, but I mean that's like to the top of politics. It's kind of crazy.
I'm surprised like R. Kelly wasn't like buddies with him.
You know, that network that's so fucked up must be really small and very like connected. So it's possible R. Kelly knows about these whole things too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. I bet you it's all connected.
Yeah.
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 I don't think that. I don't know how big that world is, but if it's not that big, these are the wealthiest people, so you know that they're all connected to it. They're not going to deal with some like.
And they know each other's shit too.
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to deal with some dumbass who, you know, the dumbass might be a cop, right? So they're dealing with each other, and they're like the wealthiest people that are, you know what I'm saying, into like really weird kink. So therefore, they trust each other, you know, because
well, there was that
they
one
put each other
guy,
at risk, you know.
The doctor from like Fox Television who like was like, I don't know, I think. Is he in Florida? No, he's not. Like
Florida's bad.
But like, you know, he's now like has to go to court because like he was like, you know, just really into hardcore BDSM stuff and like, you know, having his girlfriends tattoo his initials on him because, you know, they're his property. Though, is it? No, but like he tried to like, you know, kind of carry himself out as a you know, an authoritarian doctor type on Fox, and he was just really a twisted, you know, piece of shit, you know. So
you have to wonder how much of that is going on, just in general.
Could be tons. Oh, and also there was that. Was it? There's the one politician in West Hollywood, the Democratic dude who had two. He's had two African American.
Oh yeah, like two gay guys, like two gay black guys, like died of drug overdoses on his property.
And is it a house or an apartment or something weird like that? Right, that kind of happened.
Yeah,
and that was like two. It happened twice.
What was his excuse?
I don't know.
And
then there was the newscaster. This is totally separate, but a newscaster who he was married with kids, but then he ended up dying in an apartment. I'm sorry, a motel of a drug overdose, and it was like. There was some,
that happens all the time,
doesn't
it?
There was some, you know, like closeted activity going on.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. But then that's how he died, right? He died probably naked, you know, like on drugs with another dude, and he's got a wife and kid. You know, it's like on the DL. You know.
I blame upbringing on things like that. Like, you know, it's tough being a
politician,
a pre-Gen Xer. You know, like, you know, growing up in like, you know, like say like the 60s or 70s, you know, and, you know, like growing up with like, you know, this kind of like feelings of shame or whatever toward like, you know, homosexuality or something like that forces you to closet yourself. And I don't know, I think it's sad.
Oh, totally sad.
You know, so.
You think it's coming out in like destructive ways now or what?
Well, it's coming. It forces some people to express it in destructive ways.
Yeah.
You know, did you see any art shows this week?
Just Huntz Lou's art show at Giant Robot 2.
You see it every day.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to make it to the opening, but I went to Corey Holford's psychedelic show where I met Huntz.
Yeah,
awesome.
You know, the show. What'd you think of the psychedelic show?
I thought it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was I like the roster. There's a lot of artists.
Camila Rose Garcia had like a show.
She had like a mini solo on the side. Yeah,
and then they had like Travis Lampy and Junko Mizuno and this other artist whose name escapes me right now, like Momoko something.
So wait, the theme is to do something psychedelic?
Yeah, the main gallery had like all like kind of trippy psychedelic artwork, and then Camila Rose Garcia took Gallery 3, which is like the smallest space, and where she just did small pieces.
Is that where you had your show?
No.
Okay, so that's the side room.
Yeah, that's the
yours is like another side room.
Yeah,
one's like a hallway, and right.
Yeah. Right. That's Gallery 3.
Yeah,
and Gallery 2 is like the
gotcha.
The medium-sized room.
You know the numbers of the galleries in someone's. That's awesome.
Oh, it's the gallery I kind of work with. So, gotcha. But yeah, but there was a whole bunch of stuff going on. Like there was a Murakami show.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't make it.
I checked that out.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Thought it was good. It's interesting. I mean, I liked his sculptures. He had some really massive, like, pretty monumental sculptures. One was like, I think it was like bronze, but like plated in gold or platinum.
What was it of? Was this of Murakami characters?
Yeah. It's like flower characters.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
It wasn't
a bunch of paintings. I think he's trying a lot of new things.
Oh.
A little more conceptual now, I think.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, some of the paintings had like text
like
body, like full bodies of like copy on it in English. Yeah,
I saw pictures.
Yeah.
But were they literal, like just explanations of things?
A little bit. Some were trying to be. It's pretty conceptual, but it's not conceptual where you can't understand what he's trying to do. Like
Did
try
you
to
read
explain.
everything?
I took some pictures of the things. I'm like, I'll read this later. I read a couple of
Gotcha.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of them was like a text to viewers who are looking at the painting 50 years from now. He's like, oh, there's this thing called Instagram. You might not know what it is, but it's really popular now, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of interesting.
In English.
It's in English, yeah. I think some of the text, some of the copy is in Japanese, but a good amount of it is in English,
So
yeah.
why do you think he decided to do that? I mean, just without knowing, do you have a guess as to why?
I don't know. I think he really just wants to comment on like how social media is kind of the kind of monster it is now. And
But is it about his own art too in that context, or is it just blindly about social media? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it about him as well, like, in it?
probably both, like how it reflects like his art, because I think he's always been in that weird kind of very commercialized space, but also fine art.
Right.
So I think he always has to like talk about that in his work.
But do you think it has anything to do with his audience now that's kind of shifting to more fashion, I suppose? Like, do you think it somehow addresses those viewers?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, because you guys all follow him on Instagram.
I do, but
Yeah.
I don't get, I don't see.
He was
everything.
always kind of in that world with like the LV collabs,
But
the
I don't-
Kanye stuff.
I just don't think still those same kids, the Supreme kids, were still into it until like in the last 2 years.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a comment where I was like, oh, he's hanging out with Virgil a lot. You could tell, or like
Right.
Virgil's rubbing off on his work.
Yeah. So I was wondering if that is
Yeah.
the change in this work, because this is his own now. It's not a collaboration with another artist. So I was wondering if this kind of addresses something in that genre. I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't
sure.
know.
Just
Yeah,
from
I
looking
don't
at it,
know.
I'm wondering if he's like trying to directly
Yeah.
communicate to those kids versus an art audience
Maybe.
or something. This is like an audience of kind of like pseudo skate fashion type of, you know what I mean? Streetwear,
Yeah.
sneaker
Where
loving.
there's Supreme logos all over it.
No.
It's just crap without Supreme logos over it. Don't even want to waste my time going to that, Gagosian gallery unless it's, the Gagosian / Supreme gallery. So I could like wear my Yeezys and whatever.
So were there a lot of those kind of like streetwear kids there, or was that not even the audience?
Well, I went like
Oh, you didn't
pretty
go
early.
You
I didn't go
That's
opening.
right. You didn't go opening.
I did
night,
go
yeah.
to the Ablo Murakami opening though, the one where
Right.
he did have that collab.
Sure.
It was a spectacle. It was cool. I mean, I'm kind of into that, so. But there was like a line.
So wait, Luke,
and then-
you just give him a 1-up. You just looked at your shirt. I just looked at
Oh,
your
it's a
eye.
Nike. It's
I
not
know.
Supreme,
And
so
Luke just
it's Supreme colors,
looked you
but-
up and down real quick at what you were wearing. It's so funny, man. I caught you. That's so funny.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, for me, it's kind of hard to not.
Are you
be,
19?
Like, swept into that wave. Yeah, maybe I'm just trying to stay.
Wait, so
youthful.
do you actually buy expensive sneakers like such?
I have some. I just don't really wear
Like
it.
what?
I have.
Do you have Yeezys?
It's okay.
couple I have
I'm
a
not
couple
judging.
Yeezys.
I'm just busting your balls.
But you actually have Yeezys.
Yeah.
Not the hard to get ones. They're a little more wider release now, so I went and picked up a couple of those.
Do you have Supreme T-shirts
No.
or the jackets or whatever it is, or
No,
sweatshirts?
I don't really collect. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't spend a lot of money. But I think
Yeezys are
I really
expensive,
think that
aren't they?
kind of culture right now, looking back on it in the future, it's gonna be
Right.
what
I
this era is gonna be about. So if you want to partake in, not necessarily partake, but it's gonna be what history is. in
yeah,
the
have a
future.
piece of that. Have a piece of the history that, like that has as a bookmark of this era.
Yeah, but what about the same thing can be said 10 years ago though, right? The whole lineup for sneakers that were Nike, whatnot, like 10 years ago.
You could say
Like the
even
the
20,
Jordans
yeah,
when they first came
Air
out
Force
and stuff.
Ones
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like
Yeah,
that.
but I was talking about more of the
Hyper-
boutique stuff. All not the
Very
massive
speed
release,
dunks, yeah.
but all the different kinds of
Yeah, you didn't you do an article on custom sneaker dudes and stuff like
I did,
that too?
yeah, sure. But those
Yeah.
like custom sneaker guys, there was actually a lot of collabs that are
But it felt underground at the time, right? Even though it was
the
like,
lineups were long though, like
Oh,
overnight
really?
lines, and the lines were hours long. And remember the pigeon dunks from Staple in New York created a riot. This is all over 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and so I always thought, okay, is that
But I think
historical?
if like social media was around back then, it'd probably be.
It was.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, 10 years ago.
It was.
Yeah, it was around 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Like
It was.
Yeah, like
That's how that stuff blew up.
Remember MySpace? That was like 15 years, no,
Yeah.
14 years ago.
It's a while ago, but yeah. So I look at that and I'm thinking, God, I thought streetwear was already giant. I thought it died down, and I feel like it's now making another wave comeback. Is kind of how I see it, because I thought it was. It was a lot of those brands are gone now. The ones that were really big, right? And then some of them made it through. And the ones that are big are really big, like Supreme, gigantic, right? But then
I think it's on a whole nother level now, though.
Yeah, it could
well,
be.
do you know? So Virgil, the guy that Murakami collaborated with some of the art.
I don't like the art. I know who he is, but that art
okay.
is just not exciting to me.
But you know, he comes kind of from like some of that streetwear background a little bit. You know, working with Kanye and stuff, and now he's creative director of Louis Vuitton Men's. You wouldn't ever classify Louis Vuitton as streetwear necessarily, so it's
still not streetwear, right?
But to be in to kind of adopt the streetwear culture or this huge persona in streetwear, I think it was a pretty big shift. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it started I feel like it started right around the time when Murakami was doing LV stuff.
Could be. That's what we kind of mentioned. Yeah, that was like a interesting time, because that was like Marc Jacobs, right? Marc Jacobs collaboration with Murakami doing the LV stuff. Yeah, that's like 10 years ago too, isn't it? Around there.
That was about
Yeah.
I think so.
It's already 10 years ago. So
was it 10 years ago?
it's at like 8.
No, it was
maybe
like
10.
9 years ago.
Yeah, it's right.
years.
It's right up there. So yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Huntz is part of it. Maybe you can maybe you could show me the stuff
I'm
that
just
you
an
get.
observer. I just
Yeah,
oh, cool.
you could show me the stuff someday,
Yeah.
because I don't. It's passing me by. I'm letting it. I'm watching it drift right by me.
I'm way too old for that shit.
Because that one T-shirt that is it Virgil Abloh hit that logo. Isn't that the same as the 7th letter, the Graffiti Cruise
It
logo?
looks very similar.
What's the difference? Isn't it the same logo? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many things where I'm like, that's not very original. It looks like he stole that logo from somewhere to begin with.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So-
Supreme, the Supreme logo is basically
It's a
Yeah,
Barbara
but I mean,
Kruger.
you're
Right.
stealing a fine art kind of a iconic design, whereas 7th Letter's design logo is not really an iconic, like worldwide iconic, logo exactly, but it was stolen.
Yeah,
It's
but I
kinda
mean,
messed up.
it's such a simple, it's a square with the line lines.
Yeah.
So it's like just arrows pointing in 4 directions.
I don't know, but I figured like those graffiti dudes are probably really mad. Do you think
Well,
they're
of
mad?
course.
Okay, because I don't really.
Well, I
keep
don't
up-
know if they're mad, but I would imagine
figured
they
so.
would be.
Yeah, I figured they'd be
Maybe.
really mad. I don't know. I would figure they would have threatened violence or lawsuits or something by now.
Violence.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, but I haven't seen anything, so I'm unsure. But Murakami show worth going to or no? What do you think?
Was
I mean, I wanna
was there a
go,
lot of
but
work, or was
I wanna
there?
go.
a lot to
Yeah,
look
it
at?
was a good amount of work.
Really?
It was a lot of big
Like,
paintings.
I was
He had
a-
that big. You guys seen that fish painting? That's really huge.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
massive.
yeah.
It's like really.
I want to
it's
see that. No, that's
like
there,
a mural
right?
almost. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I plan on going. I just wasn't sure what you thought of it, and it was.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Right.
like Murakami, I
Sure.
mean, I would check it out.
No, I
just
definitely wanna check
see
it
his
out.
new work,
I just didn't want to go there and be in line.
Yeah, don't
until
go
they did.
for the opening.
Yeah, because I mean, if you got a special, like Luke made a comment, goes, "Hey man, if you were there, wouldn't you just be able to get right in?" I'm like, I don't think so. I think
Yeah, I
I'd
had
be.
to wait for,
I think
like-
I'd be in line, and Murakami would walk right by and go, "Hey Eric, what's up, man?" And I'll be like, "Hey dude," and he'll go, "Hey dude," and then I'll go, "Hey dude," and then he'll just keep walking. I have a feeling that's what would happen. Like, I don't think it'd be like, "Eric, come with me right now." I don't think so,
actually
bro.
completely disagree with you.
I don't think
I
so.
could see him
I wish, but I don't think
totally
so.
Going, "Hey, come on."
I have a feeling I'm gonna just wave in the cold, shivering. Bro, congrats, bro. I'll see you in about an hour when I get in.
Well,
Maybe.
Now, speaking of congratulations, congratulations on your show.
Oh, thanks.
You
Mr.
did really
Huntz.
well. Yeah, I finally got to see it this Sunday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I guess
thanks,
that was kind of a
Eric.
weird transition.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just kind of felt like we should talk
Talk to Huntz.
You're
It's
like,
your
stop
work.
talking about streetwear.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm still.
I'm not an
interested-
expert on it.
I'm still interested in
Yeah.
streetwear though. I'm fascinated by
No,
it.
it's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
But
Very
I can't
fascinating.
help but judge some of these jackasses, and
Well, how do you feel about music these days? Because it kind of goes hand in hand, like hip hop
it's
kind of being
fucking garbage.
Wait, hip hop?
being kind of like the dominant kind of mainstream
It's absolute fucking shit.
style of music.
Like what groups are you talking about?
Like Drake.
Nope.
I don't know.
So Drake is somehow related to streetwear too?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He has his own
Hip hop
brand,
culture
yeah. Oh my
and
gosh.
like, you know.
So why is it hip hop and not punk rock? Why didn't punk rock get there? Like punk rock has been left behind.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
What happened?
It
No, my theory is like just sonically, like a traditional rock band is just kind of limiting.
Like Led Zeppelin is limiting? No.
Not limiting as far as what you
No.
can make, but like if with the advent of like Pro
you know-
Tools and computers, like if you're gonna, I love working, within a restriction, but like if you are gonna stick to like drums and guitars, and bass guitar, like maybe a keyboard, there's only so many sounds you could make, and
unless you like throw in a shit ton of effects pedals and have a key, someone like working like samplers and stuff like that. But like the thing is, but you say it's limiting, but at the same time, like freaking like I feel like hip hop in general has like just kind of become so formulaic and like it's like very short because everyone's got ADD now and like you open with a chorus in order to like grab people's attention rather than like starting off with a verse chorus verse whatever, it's chorus verse chorus. It's like talk about limiting.
So wait, what do you like hip hop then, right? We're just talking about all this stuff.
I
and
like everything.
What kind of music do you
I
like?
listen to everything.
No,
I mean,
you
like,
like hip hop, man. So you like Drake.
Well, here's the thing. I
obviously.
listened to so much like indie rock and like rock growing up and into college, into my adulthood, that if I hear anything similar to anything I was really into, I can't really get into it anymore. I feel like I'm like saturated by that kind of music,
Right.
Like if someone plays me like a new band that sounds like, I don't know, like some kind of post rock thing, I'm like, I'd rather go listen to like, I don't know, Tortoise or something. I don't know.
Whoa, you just pulled out.
I had to name drop something to let you guys know. I don't just listen.
That's pretty cool though. That's Chicago right there.
Yeah.
Tortoise, Chicago.
Very
Cake,
nice.
You're just busting more Chicago. I think that's all. Is that all Chicago? I think
Captain
it is.
Jazz. Or
Listen to this dude. Right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Man, I thought you were gonna talk about like Tekashi 98 or whatever. What's his name?
Oh, that guy. No, there's definitely a lot of dumb music.
Or
too.
do
Dumb
you like
hip-hop.
Lil Wayne? Are you a fan of Lil Wayne as a result?
I kind of missed him, like as
Okay.
far as like his whole come up and when he was really on top. Like I didn't really listen.
Was
to
he
that
ever
much
on
hip-hop at
top?
the
See,
time.
I didn't listen
Yeah.
to any of this. I'm just dropping names, but I don't know what they are. Like that guy with the tattoos on Tekashi 9.
Yeah,
no, what's
six,
his,
Tekashi
oh, I'm sorry,
6ix9ine.
6ix9ine. I just saw a video where he gets punched in the face at the airport. At
Well, he's
LAX.
going to jail for like probably forever.
Oh, what about
Yeah.
Are you into Bobby Shmurda? He's in jail.
He's in jail too, right? He actually killed someone, right? I don't
yeah,
know.
I
I don't
think so.
know.
I think
didn't
so.
really. Yeah. I
So
wasn't-
yeah, but I'm not into hip hop. I just like the funny. That murder's not funny, but I mean, I just think the personalities are just like out of this world. They're insane.
Yeah.
when
I
I-
mean, who knows what's gonna come next? Like, what's gonna be popular, next?
It's probably more hip hop.
Yeah, it's well, I think it's going to be a lot more like more electronic music, but like I don't know, I just kind of think that I mean, everything I've ever heard like at a gym or whatever is
You
just,
just hate it.
freaking like garbage.
Yeah.
you
Like
know?
there's a lot of trap, like
You know,
younger trap
I-
artists that are just formulaic.
I,
like you
I,
said.
I saw a great documentary on trap music on I think it was like probably Vice or something like that, and I thought like the beats and the rhymes and everything were really interesting, but like it's only they only like feed you like 20-second chunks of it, like in the documentary. So I went and saw. God, what band is it? They're really popular.
Huntz, tell us, what is it?
What is this?
Starts with
Hip-hop?
yeah, like it's Atlanta.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know. I can't remember their name anymore. But like it's a bunch of like it's like four guys.
It's like the Migos.
Yeah, I saw the
Okay,
Migos
okay.
at
I was like,
Coachella at Coachella, and like I was.
Oh, you went and saw them live.
Yeah, I saw them live,
Oh.
and I was like, okay,
What's the
so
verdict?
let's check this out.
Yeah.
Let's see if this can be interesting. And it started off interesting, but then like the song just would just suddenly end, and I'm like,
What happened?
what happened? And then like right when I'm beginning to kind of get into it, and then like they'll start another
Well,
song.
sometimes at festivals, like the festival sets for some of these hip hop groups, because a lot of them collaborate, so they'll have guest verses. So if the guest person isn't there, they'll just cut the song short, or they'll just do their verse. So
Interesting.
sometimes the performance of a song would be like literally like a minute or something.
Whoa.
Which is really weird. You won't get that from like a rock band, you know?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
used to listen to a lot of like IDM kind of experimental like
Okay.
electronic music
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and so like I thought like before trap music started kind of coming in, I felt like especially top 40 was so horrifically boring. It hadn't evolved in over like 20 some years, you know. And then suddenly trap music came in, and like with its like crazy like breaks and, you know, interesting sounds. I thought, oh, this is interesting. But then when I saw the Migos, I was just like, I don't
Not
get it.
interesting.
No, I don't get it. You know,
Yeah.
or, you know, and then like, you know, you get like all this like what would they quote unquote mumble rap, you know, and like, you know, Post Malone or whatever, and I'm just like,
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
not my thing.
It's not for a lot of people, I guess.
I'm
Oh,
literally too old for
Action Bronson. What about that guy? I mean, I only like his cooking videos and stuff. But
Yeah, he was a chef, right?
Yeah, that's all I know.
that. See, I'm like into that
I don't
one
know.
guy, Matty.
Oh, that guy's amazing.
Yeah,
That-
Matty Matheson. Or,
Yeah. The cooking videos. They're
Yeah, oh my god, he's the best.
Yeah, do you know
Wait,
what
is he a
I'm talking
rapper?
about? No, he's not.
No,
a,
he's not a rapper.
He's not a rapper.
just a big Canadian
I was like,
guy
I don't know
with
this guy.
tons
Oh,
of
man, I'm gonna look him up
tattoos.
right now.
You know, and
Okay, he's a chef.
yeah, he's a chef, and you know,
Matthew
but
Matheson.
He's got kind of like a, I don't know, you explain a high pitched voice. He's like Dom DeLuise, kind of, right?
right.
Do you know who that is?
He's just loud.
Yeah.
Modern day Dom DeLuise.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of loud, kind of silly. Yeah.
I tried watching some Action Bronson cooking videos, and I just wasn't really as excited by.
Yeah,
him
but I saw him
by-
at, but I saw him eating at Din Tai Fung, so
No way.
fuck yeah.
Which
Action
one?
Bronson?
The one out here?
Yep.
Century City?
Yep, Century City.
Of course, yeah.
Action
you wanna
Bronson.
catch him in arcade,
Yeah. He's not as big as I thought he would be.
What?
I mean, I thought he was going to be like 6'4". Or
Yeah,
6'6".
he looks huge.
No, I think he's like 5'9" or something, 5'10"
What?
maybe. And like he was big, but he's only, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, you expect him to be like 6'4", 6'4", or 6'5".
and gigantic. But so he's big, but he's only like 5'9". So he's not that big, you know.
Well, then I guess he's
Yeah.
like, you know, big for like TV.
Yeah,
You know,
no, it's all good.
Big for
because-
TV.
Yeah, big for.
Yeah, sometimes it's misleading.
Yeah.
It's all about proportions, I think. Like, if you're
Right.
tall and skinny, but you could still be short and just really skinny, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought he was going to be ginormous, and I was like, oh, he's not that big. You know, like I thought he was like a monster. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
rapper, he's on stage, he looks like a gigantic dude who's gonna like eat you or something. You know? But yeah, he's not. I was a little disappointed at that, but other than that, he was at Din Tai Fung eating good food. So thumbs up.
You're Taiwanese, right?
Yeah. Speaking of Taiwanese,
What do you
man,
think of Din Tai Fung?
Oh, I like it. Yeah, no qualms with it. I think it's deserved, you know, its popularity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've eaten at the original one in Taipei.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've
and
been there.
I've been to the one in the Philippines. I've been to the one in a couple of them in Singapore. I've been to the one in Shanghai.
Oh, so you have a better
And
overview of.
They all taste the same, which is amazing.
Okay.
Like
quality
to have that
control,
kind of
yeah.
consistency across, you know, except I've been to the one in, I think it's Burbank or Glendale. I always get those two mixed
Glendale,
up.
yeah.
Glendale.
Yeah, Glendale. And like
that one's bad.
the xiaolongbao were like not scalding hot. They should be like, you know, like
Yeah.
frightening to eat.
But they cool down really fast. That's what I noticed, right?
I guess
In general, I think they cool down really quick. So
yeah, but like when you put your first one in and it's
it
not
should
like
be too hot. Yeah. It should be too hot.
yeah.
Yeah. But then by the time you eat your like third one, it's already like cooled down.
Yeah, it
quite a
says,
lot.
yeah, and then you're ready to start chugging.
Exactly. Yeah, no more biting a hole and having the soup part. It's just,
I don't even
yeah.
do that. I put
okay.
the entire thing in my mouth for that scalding experience.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. So, Huntz, give us a Din Tai Fung story.
We don't need to talk about that.
What? There's a
I
Din
know
Tai
where
Fung
Eric's going
story?
with that. No,
Oh, come on. I don't know the story.
it's not much of a story, but we don't have to talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, come on.
All right, I used to work at Din Tai Fung.
No way.
Yeah.
See, look at that.
Wait, okay, so,
See, Huntz has layers. Did I tell you that earlier?
you know,
right?
you're right. Well, it's just
There
like
are
his
layers,
work.
Layers of Huntz. I know.
His
That's-
work
that's
has got
thematic.
like layers.
So
Yeah.
we were sitting there eating at Din Tai Fung, and then he goes, "Okay, man, I worked at Din Tai Fung." And I was like, "What the?" You know, like, what are you saying?
Wait, okay, so
But it's not what comes to mind when you hear someone say that. I wasn't like.
But no one
making
ever says
food,
no
I
one
wasn't-
says I worked at Din Tai Fung though. That is already a weird thing to say.
That's not true. You just
I go there,
go
but
and
no,
talk to the
but
waiters.
who works there, man?
Dude, I could take you to San Luis Obispo and point at all these random Chinese restaurants and say, I worked here, I worked there. We go to the pizza place in the University Union in Cal Poly,
Yeah.
San Luis Obispo, I worked there.
But this guy
You
worked
know.
at Din Tai Fung.
But like, okay, so I've heard some pretty interesting things about working at Din Tai Fung, and that is that at least from according to the ones in Asia, like employees get a piece of the essentially have a piece of the company. They get a living wage.
Oh, it's not like that here. No. Well, here's the thing. I went there specifically to make drinks. Like,
you're
not even alcoholic, like boba drinks. Yeah.
Oh, you're a mixologist.
I wouldn't call me that, but sure.
Put tea, milk, and these balls in it. Shake that shit up, put in a cup.
Do they use real milk or do they use artificial milk?
I don't want to slander Din Tai. They might be different now, but it was not real milk. Yeah, I mean, I think it's very rare to find a place that uses. I mean, maybe not these days. There's so many tea shops.
Yeah, I hate. That's why.
And there's
That's
so
one of the
much-
reasons why I don't drink milk tea is because it's not milk.
And the sugar. I
Yeah.
kind of cut down on boba drastically after that. Just
Oh,
the
yeah.
amount of sugar that goes into it.
I always get like 25% sweet. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
because
That's
it's just
probably
too
still a lot of
sweet.
sugar.
Yeah. Oh
Well,
no.
just in the boba balls. You're not even talking about the tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it comes packaged in like this kind of dry. It looks like dog food, basically, like
Kibbles?
and yeah,
Dude,
basically.
Yeah.
There's this boba place in Monterey Park that like where they make their own boba balls.
Okay.
Right. And the first time I went there, they just had this girl wearing like hot pants, you know, and and a half top with an apron on and a mask, just mixing this shit like bent over the
Wait,
kettle,
what
like, you know. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? This is amazing, you know. But yeah, I don't think that.
That sounds amazing. Can
Yeah.
you draw? You should draw that.
I should
Draw that. That's a visual.
I
right
should
there.
I should have documented
That
the
is a visual.
experience, you know.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's this like tiny little fobby, you know, a fabulous girl.
So I like how we just said we don't want to hear about Huntz sweating over boba balls, but we want to talk about hot fobby, half top, crop top girls wearing aprons
And hot pants. The
and hot pants, side
yeah.
boob, all that stuff. But Huntz with boba, we're just like, nah, dude.
Yeah, it's boring.
Well, you know, I mean, like, look, we all like, you know, have to do things to make ends meet.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, I was doing that while working a full-time web design job, so I was kind of just doing a little research, I guess. Yeah.
See the layers of Huntz.
Layers?
Research.
Well, at the time,
Huntz.
I was like having like I was like finding my identity and like kind of reliving my like Taiwanese roots. I was born there, but I moved to the States when I was like really young.
right.
And you know, growing up, I never went back. You know, we never really had like the money to fly back, so I really didn't have like any kind of distinguishing factors between like being Taiwanese or Chinese.
Right.
So I was just like, oh, it's all kind of the same. And then I went to Taiwan to visit as an adult, and I was like, it felt, I don't know, I can't really describe it. It felt nice.
Yeah.
I felt kind of like at home.
I like Taiwan.
So
I
then
think-
that's when I started drinking a lot of boba, and I was like, oh, maybe I could like look into opening like a boba stand or something.
Oh, I
so
see.
I was like, let's do some research, and I went and got a job like at Din Tai Fung.
Okay.
It was on Craigslist. They were looking for boba. I'm like,
Yeah, I-
on Craigslist.
yeah.
That's actually
Yeah.
kind of one of those little, like, you know, like I want to follow the similar dream that so many other artists have by opening a small business and
Yeah,
you know
or like a
what?
gallery.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, I don't want to do a gallery. Definitely don't want to do
okay,
a gallery.
that's something I dream about.
Yeah.
Not like really dream about. I'm like, oh, it sounds fun. I don't know.
Wow.
Eric, would you recommend anyone go into the gallery business?
Sure. Why not? Do
Would
it.
you recommend another artist to go into the gallery business?
Well, depends which one, I suppose. I mean, there's a lot to. It's running a gallery isn't just doing the art show stuff. It's running a small business.
Yeah.
So I
exactly.
mean, no matter what it is, whether it's a retail store, gallery, shoe store, whatever it is, I mean, there's still like a basic background to it all that you got to be able to handle. And if you can't handle that part, then you know it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I see.
It doesn't
with
matter
the
what it is.
logistics with the postage show, it looks
Oh,
insane.
it's all about figuring out
It
how you
looks
can
like
do stuff.
madness,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just you just have to figure out how you can get stuff done in the most efficient way. If you don't want to drive yourself crazy, and I think that's for me owning a store. It took me a long time to learn that running it is actually not that hard once you know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know how to do it, it's really difficult. Like you're chasing your own tail, like you know, like a dog that's running in circles, chasing their own tail, like getting nowhere.
Right.
You're gonna do a lot of that until you figure out
Sounds
how
like an
not
art
to do
career.
it. Yeah. So I think I've chased my tail long enough. And
Well, how many years was it between GR1, the original GR store, and GR2?
Just 2 years.
Yeah, you just
So,
dived right in.
Went for it, yeah. But
What about the magazine?
Yeah, the magazine went from 94 to 2010.
And then the store, or the gallery was when?
2003. And then the store is 2001.
So 9 years after starting the magazine, you opened a gallery, but 7 years it was the store.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the whole thing was, didn't know what I was doing, learning everything the hard way, making every possible mistake. And then now it's a lot smoother. I feel like I'm doing everything just once. I don't have to do things twice and 3 times, like over and over and over, because I fucked up or I didn't do it right, didn't do something right, or forgot I did something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now I just can do things once. It seems like, and I can kind of get away with it. Like that's all I need to do. I don't need to go back and do it again or refigure it out. It's like I can just do it once and I know when. And that's kind of the best
What was your
part.
biggest mistake?
The biggest mistake? Man, there's a whole bunch.
What's the one that just comes to mind?
Oh, okay. Business-wise, hate to say it, I think, okay, keeping the magazine going 1 extra year, maybe we should have stopped a year earlier. So
I'm glad you kept it an extra year.
So Luke Chu was the last cover of the magazine, number 68. But just think, it should have stopped. Frankly, it should have stopped at around 62, 63. We should have stopped business-wise. That would have been the time to stop. But the whole thing was like, it's my own feelings of, oh my God, this is my thing. This is what I love doing, and I want to keep it going, even at a negative balance expense. You know what I mean? And that's all. Like what I know now is like, don't do that. Like that's really bad. You know what I mean? That just puts you at risk, and it puts everybody at risk. It puts the store employees at risk. The whole store's at risk too, right? Everything's just at risk when you do that. And then same thing with the shops. Certain ones, I should have closed them a year early. Those are mistakes I made. It was all more personal. I'm like, no, man, I'm not closing New York. I'm not closing San Francisco. I'm going to keep those stores open. And no, should have closed those a year earlier. Like if that were today, I would have known, okay, got to close it. Like now, you know?
Right.
But instead, it was just like pushing it. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep pushing. And it's like, no, all you're doing is putting, the other parts of your own life and business at risk by doing that. You're actually going to fuck up everything. So it's better to just have stopped right there.
But wouldn't you and
called it a good run? Those are all good runs. Yeah. Just knowing when, is kind of the,
That's tough though.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because so much of your being and your just. I mean, you
gotta get over it, man.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Move on to the next phase, right? That's just like an artist. Isn't that what artists do?
Yeah, of course.
I'm looking at you guys as the artists.
I mean, I'm operating at a loss right now, so I'm still doing it.
I'm
just kidding.
I'm still.
He's just kidding.
I'm in the red.
I just sold all those pieces, but I'm just kidding.
I wanted to talk to you about your pieces, Huntz, because
we're gonna get into this now. Here we go.
Because when I look at your work, it hurts to look at it. It hurts me to look at it because I'm just envisioning your process, and I'm just straight back at design school, mat cutting room, freaking nightmares, and I never could get clean cuts, especially on the inside of the inside mats, and I'm looking at your stuff, and it's just it just ends cleanly and precisely, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Why the fuck are you doing this to yourself? Because it's obviously other people are just going to look at it and go, oh, it's just really beautiful, and yes, it is really beautiful, but it makes my eyes bleed a little bit.
Ouch.
In the most flattering way possible, because it's not because I think your work is genuinely beautiful, and knowing that this is your show had opened, I felt really bad that I couldn't make it to the opening, that I actually drove out of my way on Sunday to go see it because I wanted to to see it, and now I'm
I thought you drove out for the Oscar party.
No.
Okay.
Remember, I crashed that because I didn't even know about it.
Just kidding.
But the thing is, and there was other things that I thought was interesting. Was you had the 3D model in there, which kind of suggests that you're not working as maybe abstractly as I thought you were. Because I remember looking at some of your stuff from a couple years ago, I think, and it seemed a little bit more abstracted, but this one you definitely had a sense of depth and dimension to everything, and and knowing that like there are two pieces where you based the design, the images on these models. Like it was, very very interesting. But so tell me about let's talk about like. Let's inform our listeners on what you do, what kind of work you do, and how you do it.
I guess just briefly, currently I work with cut paper. It's layered. All of it is hand cut, and the forms I work with are geometric based, and that's kind of the guidelines I work within. So I think that luckily gives me the freedom to kind of play within very restrained conditions almost.
How did it get there?
Yeah.
I mean, because we grow up drawing in notebooks, sketchbooks, crayons, whatever it is, but cutting away is something different. I mean, it seems like that can't be your first form of art,
Yeah, well, my background's in graphic design, so I think it kind of shows in the work.
Design?
As far as as far as composition and color and such. So I think I started working with just cut paper, but more in a collagey flat manner. So similar geometric kind of forms, but just flat. And I think it was just something that occurred to me to try to achieve some literal depth with it, rather than just kind of like figurative depth or kind of imaginary depth. And yeah, I just started from there. It was just an idea.
And it's all cut by hand with X-Acto blades, number 11s.
Yeah, and rulers, yeah.
Oh my god.
X-Acto blade and ruler, yeah.
I mean, is there no pencil lines? I mean,
not in the pieces. So in the pieces, there really are no marks.
No, I see
no mark making. Yeah,
I'm looking all over for like fuck ups here and there.
Oh, there are fuck ups.
I know. I found some, bro.
Oh, damn.
But they're irrelevant.
Don't look that closely.
But they're kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean?
I think it gives it kind of a
Those don't matter.
like a touch, almost
Sure.
like a human. I mean, that maybe sounds like an excuse. That sounds like BS.
They're
Like,
so
yeah,
minor.
it's supposed to be there.
Nah, they're so
It's supposed
minor.
to-
I'm just talking about like I'm just looking to be an ass. That. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're amazing.
So
Thanks.
like these shapes that you're kind of working with, are these something that you visualize in your head, or do they come about like when you're like actually cutting the paper first?
Oh yeah. So back to your comment about what, pencil or something. Yeah, I do draw most of the forms first. And actually, by the time I'm cutting, most of it is kind of planned out. Yeah. As far as shape and color, there's no guesswork by that time. Yeah. Yeah.
There's no like tools you can use to assist you with the cutting, just other than rulers and X-Acto blades.
I mean, there's they have laser cutters, they have CNC routers and such, so I could potentially use those tools, but I think with a medium like paper, if I don't have to, I'd rather not. I think I want to explore using different materials, I should say,
Sure.
with the laser cutter.
Right.
Going forward, yeah. So like, I've played with acrylics, like plastic sheets.
Oh, acrylic.
Yeah,
Actual
yeah,
plexiglass or whatnot. Yeah.
And wood. So something I want to explore more, as far as like scaling my work even larger physically. Because the problem with paper is it doesn't scale necessarily dimensionally.
Right.
Because it's gonna be the same flatness regardless of length and height, or length and width.
But you're using you're not using 3x board, but you're using some like map board kind of quality papers. And
Yeah, it's a little thinner than I would say like cardstock. It's probably like 140 pounds, something like that. Yeah.
Then you told me you go through how many blades for like.
Oh yeah, a lot.
How many blades did you go through for that exhibition? I mean, there's like 30 pieces type of thing.
I don't know. I
Or
don't
more?
keep track. I should keep track.
I
I,
mean-
have a little container of all my used.
Are we talking about like 100 blades or 1,000 blades?
Yeah.
type of
Well,
thing?
maybe not 1,000, but easily 100.
you're not buying those little simple like spring pack, X-Acto
Oh
blade.
no! I buy them in bulk. Yeah.
So don't
come
they
in
make
like
better
100.
blades? Because I mean, I've used X-Acto blades and the tip breaks off. Am I doing something wrong?
No, that's my problem. Yeah, because once the tip goes, like I have to swap it. Even though the edge is super sharp still, I just have to. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cuts aren't as clean.
Yeah, it's crazy. So wait, these shapes. So Luke mentioned it a little bit, but are they just like designs that you're just kind of I don't know, you're playing on your, let's say you're drawing it or you're on your computer. Are they just kind of designs by visual composition, or are they supposed to mean something else in terms of is there a larger narrative? Because sometimes some look like different things, right?
I think that's
see things.
Yeah, I think when I was talking about like
Yeah.
giving me the opportunity to play, like it varies. Yeah, some like the one that was based off of a more sculptural piece, the one you saw with the 3D thing, that was something I wanted to see if I could represent in reality.
Yeah, it looked like a crown, like
Yeah,
A crown or
yeah.
trees or something,
Yeah.
right? It looked like
it came around in a circle and
castle. It could be a lot of things. Like a
Yeah,
castle
people say
or
all
something.
kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
All
like
kinds of shit?
teeth, like I don't know, like or like bear trap or something.
Yeah, a bear trap.
Yeah.
That's very literal then.
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel like a bear trap.
No.
But no.
But then some of my other forms are more organic.
I mean, people say geodes, right, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Are they any
I
of
was gonna
these
say the
things?
name, but I forgot.
Are they any of these things, or are they just none of these
No,
things?
I don't. I don't
Yeah.
really go into it with any kind of object in mind. Yeah.
They're just compositions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, they're abstract, in nature, but I try to find a way to represent some space, even though it might not be able to really exist in reality. So.
No, it's interesting because you actually, I mean, like, you're using paper. So, like, you don't, like, have, like, shading or, kind of rendering or, like, different kind of values to imply depth. But your work definitely has that sense of depth. I'm envisioning, like, the piece on the very back wall toward in the center where it's, like, it looks like a geode kind of split into all these different pieces.
Yeah.
And like it's interesting because the colors are all two-dimensional, but the illusion is very three-dimensional. It's a very striking piece.
And I think that happens in a lot of work. Like it's perspective basically, but I'm trying to apply it in a way that feels like it could be real but probably can't be real.
Right.
And also with those ones where the Divide series, I think I wrote something like, the division is like the goal or whatever. That sounds really like pretentious or whatever. But kind of like it for some of those pieces, it really is like I have to, like for that back piece you were talking about, that large one. Going into it, I was like, I want to see how much I could divide this thing. I don't even know what I'm going to draw yet, but I want to divide something like 4 times, 5 times, or whatever.
6 times? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
It was probably like I don't know.
Yeah.
So. But.
Yeah, it's It's, like I said, like I know what it's like cutting, like paper, like like say like map boards and stuff like that.
Well, the worst was like foam core in college. I don't know if you ever cut foam core.
Oh yeah,
that was the worst.
Oh, that is the worst. Actually, you have Eric pulled out an older piece of yours that has foam core, or it's not foam core. It looks like gator board.
It's that black piece, the one that's the triangle black piece.
Yeah.
The top is got some. It's
really?
Got a thicker layer of something. It looks like it anyway. I could be wrong, but it
looks
felt like the top layer feels like some kind of thicker board than the rest.
Yeah, I don't remember that piece. Yeah.
It looks like a piece of foam core, but like if you feel it, it feels it's much tougher than foam core. So
you didn't feel it though, right?
Was it an earthquake?
No, you didn't feel it, right?
Oh.
He just says if you
like,
feel
what?
it. I'm like, did you
so
touch it, Luke?
stupid.
You're not supposed to touch the art.
Yeah, I was like,
oops.
Well, I hope you were wearing gloves. No, I'm just kidding. You could have that piece. Man. I don't know if it's so old.
It's awesome. It's like, Luke's like, if you touch it, all this happens. I'm
I'm
like,
touching the edges. I'm not like touching the face of it, So like,
Yeah, you're like, it scruffs really easily. The edges are really delicate, I found out.
Look, I'm doing you a favor by touching it, okay?
Oh, yeah,
Luke
did you sign
fucking
it?
Chew.
Can you sign the front of it? Actually, yeah, you should talk about your whole background.
We've already spent like a bunch of episodes.
I don't think so. I mean, I listened to most of them, I think.
Did you listen to the 2.5-hour epic?
I
last
did.
episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, I you know, there's a time and a place to talk about my work, but it's not today.
Not while you're here.
Not while you're here, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, so your background is graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to school in Rochester, so Rochester Institute of Technology.
RIT.
Yeah. Shout out RIT.
What'd
They
you?
have a good
No
squash
one
program.
out here really knows about.
They have a good
RIT.
squash program.
Squash?
I believe so. The guy I know was like a nationally ranked
Probably.
squash player who went to RIT,
Yeah.
did photography, and played squash.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, there you go. Squash.
Squash.
Are you arting full time, or are you still like?
No, I'm working other, I do other things. Yeah.
Right,
I'm a web designer basically to pay my bills.
You know, I just actually, you know, I was I'm trying to update my website for my show,
Mm-hmm.
and like I accidentally like deleted, like I accidentally, basically I found myself deleting almost my entire website off of
Accidentally?
No, well, kind of accidentally
Oh my
because I, you know, but like I mean, it was all on my computer, but I had to re-upload the entire thing, and I was freaking out over it,
Yeah.
like at 6 a.m, going, "What the fuck am I doing wrong?" Because like when I learned how to do web design, I was all like BB edit and like just typing everything out,
Yeah.
you know, and then like, you know, they came up with like Dreamweaver and all this other stuff, and I got the Creative Cloud for like 20 something, I think $29 a month,
Yeah.
you know, which is just a great deal, you know.
It is?
Oh, I think so. $30 for a month for all those Adobe apps.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You
I
know.
mean, it's a good deal compared to.
Free?
No, it's a bad deal compared to free, but
Yeah.
it's a good deal compared to what it was before, right?
It's like 60.
It's whatever. You buy the
It
whole
was?
suite, it was really expensive, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
like
didn't know.
probably close to $1,000
Yeah.
if you bought the suite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if you just bought it
It was
outright?
Yeah,
a lot
probably
more
more
than
than
$1,000.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
you know.
a
it's
single
really
program was
yeah.
probably like $600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore? Or can you still do
I
that?
don't think so.
I think
don't
they're
know.
realizing that because there's so many bedroom, you know, practitioners of design and photo editing, that it's just cheaper to, like, they can make more money by doing an affordable subscription that everybody can have.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, it's almost
Then-
like Spotify. They're like, no one's gonna buy albums. We may as well just charge a subscription.
Right.
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 Yeah.
You know, or Apple Music. You know, are you guys
Yeah,
Apple
yeah.
Music people or Spotify people?
I'm
a
Spotify.
person.
Yeah.
yeah, Spotify too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, do you, for your you're a web designer, that's what you're saying you do.
Mhm.
What are you using for that? Is it
I don't do any actual coding
oh, okay.
for my work. Yeah, I mean, I have prior to that, like in the past, like I've kind of studied that, but for my job, I don't really. It's just applications. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of different web design apps
Sure.
now. Yeah, before it was just Photoshop, and now you have a lot of options.
Wait, so are you using like a Dreamweaver, or because like
No, we don't. We don't deal with any real code necessarily, unless we're building like a prototype. But even then, yeah.
So you just pass it off to someone else to code it?
Yeah, the developers. Mm-hmm.
Because I am so lost on that app.
Oh, Dreamweaver.
I don't know,
yeah.
I don't know it. I don't know it.
Wait,
at
do you
all.
build your own portfolio site still, or you're not?
Well, I haven't
not
upda-
portfolio site. I keep.
Yeah, it's a
your
portfolio
artist
site.
yeah.
I don't really
Because I don't
do-
even have my own. I just gave up. I did for a while, and then I was like,
But you're a designer,
I'm just
you-
gonna get a CMS because it's easier. I use Cargo,
cargo.
but I know a
Oh,
lot
I
of people
see.
use like Squarespace and like.
Yeah, I've seen all the ones that are like. Well, I haven't seen them. I just know there's a lot of them that are like sponsors to, you know, podcasts.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
Squarespace.
Squarespace.
Yeah.
yeah. Squarespace, we're talking to you, buddy.
Squarespace.
Come
Yeah, there
on,
you go.
you know.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
actually-
sorry, don't use Cargo. Cargo. No, actually, maybe Cargo will sponsor your podcast too.
Actually, because you know the website where we're hosting all the content of just this podcast is like actually Squarespace,
Oh,
because the Squarespace has a really easy way to get it on iTunes, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
It, like that's so I was just like, wait a second, we don't need to buy our own. We could just use the one I already have.
oh.
Yeah, unless we want to buy our own, we can. But right now it's just free because I'm using the one I already pay for.
Once we get that sponsorship,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
then we can afford a producer. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So how long have you been doing website stuff? Like, is that like 10 years type of thing?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you've seen that change like
Oh
crazy.
yeah. I started out doing Flash.
Oh,
and
wow.
That went. Yeah, that went south really quickly. Yeah, I was like, oh, I need to transition
Is Flash
to.
even being used anymore?
Sometimes,
Probably
right?
not. Very rarely. I think maybe a couple years ago, still some advertisements were being served with Flash, but now I think it's all gone.
What about Shockwave? Wasn't that another
Oh
one?
my
Oh yeah, that was back in the
gosh.
day. Yeah, like Director and stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Wait, so what are people doing? Is it all just in the HTML now, or is it like
Yeah.
or is it
Yeah.
Java?
Oh yeah, Java, HTML, CSS. Yeah.
All the animation is all in those languages.
I mean, you rarely see any kind of cartoons animated anymore. It'll just be a video basically,
Right,
But
right.
before, Flash was used for like animation. It was used for interaction and stuff too. So.
Right. Like you don't see a lot of that kind of interactive video stuff
Yeah.
anymore, do you?
Mhm.
Why is that?
Because it's lame.
Just because it was lame? Is that why?
It doesn't make as much money. It's just like clickbait titles, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
There used to be this designer who had the most amazing website. I think he went under the name like DHKY.
Dude, are you joking?
What?
Is that you?
He did the early Giant Robot, our first website.
Really?
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I remember like looking at his stuff in the 90s and like going, whoa.
Yeah.
DHKY?
Yeah.
I've never heard of him.
DHKY,
Or-
David Han Q something. David Yu is his name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he was a Giant Robot fan and actually made our first website.
Oh,
And
really?
it was weird and crazy, like relatively.
Yeah. Whatever happened to that guy?
He's probably sitting on Necker Island with the Virgin Megastore guy or Virgin Airlines guy, Richard Branson. He's probably chilling.
Yeah.
he
His
probably
site's
did- he
no
probably-
longer is no longer up.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm sure he did really well, right?
I
mean,
hope
he was
so.
like a web pioneer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. His website was like one of the ones that like, and thinking of like weird animations and like weird interactivity, like little like secret Easter eggs in the websites and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like
But
his
the problem
came to
is
mind. Do you remember him? DHKY?
No.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
if I see some of his work,
DHKY,
but no.
right?
Yeah, it's
DHKY.
DHKY.
You'd have to
Yeah.
use the time machine to
Yeah.
internet time machine to find it.
But
I think.
I remember like our website was hosted on his, like some kind of his own server or something.
Right.
And the problem with that is sometimes his server would like go down and, like he would be gone for 2 days and I'd be like, oh, our website's off for 2 days because it's on this guy's server. And then he would have to restart it or something. Or I'd have to call him and go, dude, I think something's wrong. And he'll go, oh, he goes, I'll just restart it right now. And then it's fine. And I'm like, so,
Where was he based out of?
I think he was Hong Kong.
Oh, he wasn't even local?
I think so. I think he was.
Oh,
no,
wow.
I don't think he was here. I think he was overseas. But he was.
So
a
is
big,
David Hong Kong you?
I think Taiwan. Maybe he's maybe he's Taiwanese, dude. I don't really know. Yeah, but he was a big Giant Robot fan and great designer. I remember that.
his website was the
Yeah.
one that like
Wow.
really stuck out in my mind from that like late
And,
90s.
and we're talking 90s. Yeah, this was
Yeah.
in the 90s when he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to see your old website. I kind of vaguely remember your website being.
Use that Wayback Machine thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be there. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Freaking internet. Like I don't even know like of any like standout designers on the internet anymore. Do you are there any like
I should know, but I don't. I feel like those days are maybe past where there used to be like rock star graphic designers, web designers, interactive designers. Yeah, I can't really think of any contemporary ones.
right? Yeah, like
Even
we
graphic design, I'm like, who's
last time
unless
we
it
were
was, like,
talking
yeah.
like we even at the psychedelic show we were talking about David Carson.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
And all
Yep,
those guys.
Ray Gun magazine, man.
Yeah,
Right?
and, like,
yeah.
remember the era of the rock star graphic designer is kind of over. It seems like, or maybe it's just beginning again.
I'm not
Maybe.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I think it's that same thing, right? You could say almost everybody is doing some form of graphic design, whether they know it or not, sort of.
Yeah.
And everyone's doing their own photography, right? It's all these things are kind of became easy. It used to be like, oh, I got to hire a photographer to shoot this picture of this T-shirt so I could put it on our website, right? Now it's like, get your phone, take a picture of the T-shirt, put it on your website.
Yeah.
But there used to be those, like you'd hire somebody to do product photos,
photographer,
right?
yeah.
Things like that. Seems like in graphic design too. Oh, I need someone to lay this out, and it's like, dude, you could lay out your own flyer. It's okay. You can do it.
And everything's, I think, so
Yeah.
good these days. Maybe it's hard to stand out when the quality is so high as far as graphic design is concerned.
There's a lot of tools that
Back
make
then,
it easy.
like it stood out. If something was really well designed, you'd be like, "Wow, this is really like typography is like really tight."
Right.
The layout's really crisp.
There's still a lot of really shitty typos
Sure.
out there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this before. Like,
Yeah.
it's because you download a free font doesn't mean the letter
Oh,
spacing
yeah,
is
yeah,
right.
No, it's
you
way
know?
off. Yeah.
But like it's oh fuck, you know what I forgot to do?
What's that?
Set the timer.
Oh, yeah. So last time we went 2.5 hours because we had no timer, but it's cool. We don't even know. We're good.
I don't mind. Like I don't mind going on and on. I think it's definitely weird that like that. I mean, I feel like maybe it's because I'm so involved in my like the LA art scene and like the gallery scenes that like you're just not paying. I'm just not paying attention to like what's going on and like
maybe if we were in graphic design school, we'd know about all these people. But
right. Like when you were I don't, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
37.
Oh, okay. You're not that much. You're not that young. I thought you could be like.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
32. I thought you could be like 32 or 30 or something like that. That's a baby.
Based on my art, right? Yeah.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Just based on your interests, like Supreme and Yeezys.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about some old stuff. Justify
So-
my age.
Actually, though, when you think about it, and I could ask almost for more so asking Luke, if you see this person's art, how old do you think the artist is? I mean, now you know he's 37, but let's say you didn't even know. Would you have a guess? Because that's not a 25-year-old kid's art.
No, it's not.
Right? There's no way.
There's no way.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would think. But,
Because the amount of patience that it takes to execute that kind of work is, you'd have to be like a prodigy at 20.
yeah,
You know.
for you to do that, right? Or
Yeah.
to even want to do that and be able to concentrate and get it all done.
Right. Like
Yeah,
I think a
that's-
20 I
yeah.
think a 20 something now wouldn't have the patience to be
Fuck
able to
no.
do that.
No, hell no.
You know, I don't have the patience to do that. You know? But like, which is like, when I say my eye, it hurts my eyes is because I'm envisioning the process in my head of how you did this.
But when did you start these cuts like that? I mean, I feel like from what I know, I can only guess. I'm going to guess 5 years ago.
The layered stuff has been about 5-6 years ago, but I started working with paper probably like I don't know, close to 10 years ago. Yeah.
How long did it take for you to put that show together?
Not too long as far as like time wise, or as far as like dates. It took maybe like 6-7 months. I guess that's a long time actually, probably.
No, that's about right.
But while working with a full-time job.
yeah, while working on
Yeah, but as far as like hours into it, it's probably a lot. I had to, Good thing I don't have a life outside of my
I
day
don't
job
have a
and,
life either.
art stuff.
I don't know, but you guys are seeing each other at art shows, so there's a life going on.
Yeah,
Right.
what 3 hours out of a week
I don't
is not a
know.
life.
Those are like good 3 hours right there. Checking out art. He goes to the Murakami show.
Yeah.
Did you wear your Yeezys at the Murakami show though? Did you go level up right there? No. Okay. All right.
Did you wear your antisocial social club
Oh,
sweater?
whoa. That's going deep right there. So, Huntz, what is that about? Can you explain
I
that?
have no idea what that's about.
Okay.
I mean, I know
Oh,
the brand,
bullshit.
but I don't know.
Bullshit.
I don't
Come
know
on,
who's behind
you're
it.
fucking Taiwanese.
I'm kind of a poser as far as like streetwear. I was
Dude,
like,
you-
oh yeah,
dude,
Off-White.
Dude, I should
Nike
know this
Yeezys,
shit
but
because
then-
I'm fucking like I'm Chinese. You
Wait,
know,
is that a Taiwanese thing? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like I feel like it's it's an East, like a San Gabriel Valley kind of thing, or you know.
Oh, that's a whole nother story. Like, like the rich Chinese kids that are out in San Gabriel Valley.
Yeah, like fucking Arcadia shit.
Yeah,
you know.
they're driving around like supercars
Wait,
and stuff.
That's not a white dude like made this brand. Do you think it's an Asian
I
person?
think it's an Asian person.
Really? Okay. I
Because
have
you
no
see,
idea.
like you
I
see
don't
a
know.
lot of like
I see Asian
you know,
kids wearing it.
a lot of Asian kids
But
wear it.
I'm on Sawtell though, so
Yeah. You get a lot of like the rich Chinese spread between the ones who don't know live in Arcadia and the ones who do know, like the ones who don't know like also live in Orange County, but then some of the ones that do know like live in like somewhere out here on the west side.
Oh, really?
I think
do you have one of those sweatshirts?
No.
No.
I
Okay.
freaking
Yeah.
I don't know. I get kind of annoyed by like.
I'm wondering what the brand's
You know.
next thing is though. They have that one logo. Is there a second logo?
I don't think so. Actually, my dentist, who's like 33, was told me what the name of the next
what
like
is it?
up and coming label is.
Oh,
But
label.
yeah.
I was just wondering if that brand has a.
No, I think that brand is dying,
Oh,
and
okay.
like they have to do something special with it. I think like I've seen variations on it that might be theirs. like
I think
what's
they're parodies probably. They're
well,
probably
I've got a
like-
parody one. That before I even knew what Antisocial Social Club was, you know, Billions McMillions is who he is.
Oh, yeah, Bill McMullen.
Bill McMullen. Yeah.
Sure.
He you know, handed me he gave me a shirt that said, you know, anti-Star Wars Club.
Oh,
and,
God.
and
What does that even mean?
well, it's because like, you know, there's an entire like thing of kids in this you know, are in this indie toy movement that are, you know, bootlegging Star Wars figures and like modifying Star Wars toys and creating like their own versions that might have either a social commentary or a you know, a political commentary in the
Or it's just the love of toys, right?
yeah. Well, but you know, and so like, and Bill McMullen was doing a lot of like mixing sneaker culture with Star Wars stuff, and so I think that like, you know, in his latest release was what's the Adidas shoes? It's got like a
Shell toe?
it's
I know
called
he's done
something
stuff.
Star, like the Superstar.
Oh,
Not
they have a
All-Star.
superstar, I think,
Yeah.
don't they?
I
don't
don't
know.
know, but so it's
I keep
Yeah,
I keep
All-Star's
thinking of
Converse,
I
but
keep
yeah,
think yeah.
I think it's a superstar. Yeah.
I keep thinking of Carl's Jr. like superstars.
yeah, that's what
but
I was
yeah.
thinking too.
I
But
know.
it's
Famous
called
stars.
it's a Superstar Destroyer. So
Oh,
it's like
okay.
got the shell toe of the
Right.
Adidas with like the
Right.
sewn
And
on.
he did that with that AT-AT too, right?
right, and
Yeah,
didn't add
yeah.
and he also
That's like 15 years ago or more, maybe.
yeah. Remember he did a huge one for a designer con like years ago, but like so he did the Superstar Destroyer that with Monkey King and handed out all these anti-Star Wars Club you know things. But this was
cool.
like 3 years ago before I ever saw an anti-social social club,
okay.
you know, thing, because he was living in New York at the time, and so I guess it was like big in New York before it came out to the West Coast.
Gotcha.
Really? I thought that came from the West Coast.
I have no idea.
don't
That's
know.
what I thought too.
I know nothing. But
No, 45. 45. I'm old.
isn't that the president? 45. The Trump. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I'm right there.
Trump's
I've
number
got
45.
like
Okay.
dumb Trump brain right now.
No, I had no idea. But okay, there you go.
You know,
So what's the next label? What's
I don't remember.
What were you
I'll-
gonna say?
I don't remember the name.
Okay,
He
that's
my
told you.
dude. You know, like I am so bad with like Eric witnessed how bad I am with names. You know, like what was her name?
and faces.
Yeah, and faces.
Yeah.
I'm bad with names
Yeah.
and faces. Like
So young.
yeah,
yeah,
so
so
young. Yeah, like because. And I was thinking about it. Like I
Artist,
think you
yeah.
heard me talking to her about
Well,
it. Like you know,
It was funny though, because the artist comes in and she walks in and Luke looks at her and what happened? You guys started talking like you were talking to her like you knew her and
You thought
like
she was someone else?
no, she came in like
and then
you
I think
know-
and then you're like who's that or something. You said something
yeah,
like
like I was like, you know, like she came in and she's like,
Yeah.
you know, she's really pretty
So
and
young.
like, you know,
And you know
she's-
who she,
yeah.
you know who she is.
So
right?
Young Lee.
yeah,
So,
Soyoung Lee,
yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, I know her work. Yeah.
Yeah.
her work's
I don't know
amazing.
when
She
was
came
fun.
in, but I knew her, and I was like, "Oh, I figured you guys knew each other." Because
Oh, we did know we've hung out before.
Yeah, that's the craziest part. Where I was
but
like, "Oh, you guys
I
know
did
each other."
not
Oh, you're like,
recognize
who's
her.
that?
You know, she came in,
hilarious.
gave me like the side hug, and I was just like,
She's cool.
who is this?
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
like, you know, and then like, you know, she's walking, like she's checking out your show, you know, and I you know, like I'm trying to figure out like who she is.
I
You're
didn't- I had
asking
no
Eric,
I had no
yeah.
idea. No.
So
Oh,
like
you didn't ask.
I walked by her
Yeah.
and we just started talking and like and I started doing the fishing. Like, oh, so what have you been up to?
did anything work at that point, or I don't
No,
even realize.
Like-
nothing clicked yet.
She was like, "Oh, I'm just hanging out."
no, she,
the
yeah,
end.
no,
It's
she
like,
was
this doesn't
just
help.
working on you know, she mentioned she had like, you know, she was doing Shanghai Toy Show and she was also doing like
So
you
you're
know,
like, "Oh, it's art.
it's
okay,
art,
one. Ding,
and
art.
it's toys,
Yeah.
and she was working on your sketch show, and then like, you know,
And you're like, "Oh, who is this?"
and then and like okay, and then
One
like
name
I
out of,
make
like,
my way
30.
back toward the front of the store, and then she starts pulling the sketches out, and then like I was like,
Yeah.
ding ding ding.
Now you
and-
know. Yeah.
But and the way I rationalized the reason why I forgot her, who she was is because I know she moved to the Bay Area for a couple of years, you know, and then she was in town, and
Yeah.
I like,
Oh,
what,
okay.
who is this person? Like, if you're out of town, Like, I just cut off that piece of brain because I need it for something else.
That's funny.
But also, as an artist, it was probably nice that you recognized her work. I'd rather have someone recognize my work than my face,
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So
That's cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, we create, like, I mean, it's just about being like. Actually, it was interesting. There was I heard like a thing about like people talking about fame and like being famous or being famous for something, for doing something, and like fame for fame's sake versus fame for product, what is some your
like your art or something.
your art or your skills.
Like, give me an example. Do you have any examples of that?
Like, say, like the Kardashians versus,
Right, okay.
like,
But they have like sex videos and like
right,
butt
but
implants and all kinds of stuff.
But that's not like
I mean, that's
an inherent skill. That I mean, like
their
that's,
social media skill, I guess.
Yeah, but that's also to a very
There's
subtle
a
degree.
plastic surgery skill.
I mean,
all
like,
kinds of-
they're all easy on the eyes, but man, there's like a lot of people that are easy on the eyes out here.
Yeah.
So
They got a lot of Instagram followers too, though.
right, no, and they get paid like
Okay.
like tens of thousands of dollars for posting.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I think maybe even hundreds of thousands.
But-
Oh
possibly.
yeah, and the fire documentary.
Yeah.
you were
Yeah,
saying
like
it's
$250,000.
Right.
a post?
Exactly.
Insane.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
Okay. But they're famous for nothing. Okay. In the end.
to be known for creating something, to
Yeah.
be known for your work is more,
Yeah.
It's probably more fulfilling, I guess. I would
gratifying
say,
to a
but
certain degree. I'd rather be
yeah.
known for my work rather than known for,
Just
my
your name.
my
Like
my
Luke Chu. What does he do again? Luke
Yeah.
Chu.
yeah, like
Huntz Lou. What is Huntz Lou?
Oh yeah, he had that sex tape. I wish. What universe would that be?
sex
What universe would I be famous off of?
Pow. Sex tape.
what artists do you generally like draw inspiration from?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a hard question. I think historically it's probably a lot of like minimalist artists, or I don't know, all over the place, like Bauhaus stuff. Yeah,
What kind of art do you generally enjoy?
probably the same. Yeah, I mean
Bauhaus
contemporary
stuff?
stuff.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
kinda
like
all over the place.
but you go to like art shows for a lot of different,
Yeah, I like looking at art. Yeah, I love looking at art, whether I enjoy it or not. It's nice to not enjoy art sometimes too when you look at it.
Mhm.
Gives you like a reference point as far as where your tastes are, what you
You're
like.
like, oh,
yeah.
look at all this fucking garbage.
Wait, so where else do you go and check out art stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, is it like you go to
museums and
you actually-
stuff.
do you actually go to the-
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. There's a. Do you guys know this painter Laura Owens?
No.
She has a show up at the Mocha that's really good, actually.
Cool.
Yeah. I think she like that bookstore in Chinatown, Uga.
Yeah.
Buga. Yeah. I think she opened it. I don't know. I read her like
Oh wow.
bio or something
Okay.
like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was somewhat familiar with her work before, but then I went to the show and it was like it kind of blew me away.
What about Ooga Booga store? Do you like that place?
I'm surprised it's still around. I mean, it's like hidden.
Ooga booga.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like high-end zines.
Yeah,
almost.
right?
I don't know how you would describe it because it's very like. It's not low barrel at all, I guess. I would
No,
say.
it's highbrow.
Maybe it's almost overlaps.
I
a
think it's
little bit.
highbrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So wait, what was her paintings like? And I don't know
I
anything
can't
about
really
who Laura
describe
Owens
it
is.
actually.
Yeah.
It's playful. It's colorful. It's
Oh
there's
yeah,
definitely
we're
some
looking at
humor
it.
in
So
Yeah, it's
her name is Laura, Laura Owens, Owens. Okay, there's sort of like a new wave element to it.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Is that what it is?
Some of it is reminiscent of like a
Like
slight
80s?
80s
80s
aesthetic,
kind of,
but then
yeah.
a lot of it is very kind of contemporary art.
Yeah, we're kind of
ish.
looking at her just some pictures.
Just
on Google.
like what came up on Google.
Yeah.
American painter. Laura Owens is an American painter, gallery owner, and educator.
Wow.
Emerged in the late 90s from the Los Angeles art scene.
Wow.
She's known for large-scale paintings that combine a variety of art historical references and painterly techniques.
And this was at Mocha.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
that's
the one
giant.
in Little Tokyo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Geffen or whatever. It's
Oh
called.
really? Right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's gonna close soon though. So.
Oh okay. I mean that's a huge space.
Yeah. Well, she's sharing it with like I think another artist whose work I don't know. I don't remember the name. I don't
Okay.
remember the work necessarily. Sorry.
Yeah.
Artist.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go and check out like abstract work sometimes?
Sometimes,
or,
yeah. So, I mean, a lot of times I don't get it unless I read it, you know.
Right.
And then you have to kind of give me the context.
That's cool.
But just I like just looking at it from an aesthetic viewpoint a lot of times.
Do you think your artwork fits into a particular genre of art?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, is paper even a genre? I mean, that's the thing. It's like I don't really know.
No, paper isn't a genre, but
No,
like what
it's a
you
material.
do with it's a material.
It's a material. It's a medium.
You know, like
But as far as genre, I don't know.
like do you consider it like abstract? Do you consider it
It's definitely abstract, but I don't know if there's like a sub genre. I mean, what do you guys think? I don't really know where I belong as far as like art goes.
I have no
my
idea.
work.
like
yeah.
there's subtle there's
It's
because
lowbrow,
because
dude,
of
it's
the
lowbrow.
because
Is it
of
lowbrow?
No, it's not
No,
low.
it's no,
I'm
it's
joking.
not
I'm joking.
lowbrow.
I know
I'm
it's
joking.
not like pop surreal.
It's definitely not pop
It's not that
surrealism.
either.
It's not low.
Yeah.
You know, it's because
It's-
like well this comes this brings up like the idea like like LA is kind of like an illustrator town.
Mm,
You know, illustration is king in LA.
mm,
And I'm was impressed that your work looks the way it does. It resonates with me because like it's both technically very interesting to look at and difficult to create.
mm.
And
But also because there's not necessarily an angle to it that that's very obvious.
right.
Just meaning not angle as in an actual angle, like 45-degree angle type of thing,
Right.
but
like a narrative or
yeah,
something.
there's
Right.
not one that maybe you can always kind of just keep looking at it and not know what exactly it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll be a different thing at different times maybe.
Mm.
Right.
But
right.
that means it can have a long lasting, it's sort of like maybe classical music that's piano only. There's no lyrics necessarily, or, harpsichord or whatnot. There's no lyrics. So its meaning is kind of like abstract in a way. Like you don't know what the exact meaning of this song is. And it's from 300 years ago, but it's still kind of a classic. It's kind of like that. It's like your art it doesn't really have an angle or meaning necessarily. It's just whatever you might put onto it.
Right.
And therefore it can last a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have it's not like, oh yeah, that's a portrait of Woody Allen, and you're just like, okay, well now he's a scoundrel, so maybe, or something, you know what I'm saying? So like it had its time, but then like in 50 years and be like, who's that guy again? And why is he important? Oh, he got in trouble. It's like it has a context for a moment, but then it might not be there in a little while. Whereas his is everlasting, maybe. Like you just don't know.
I mean, it's definitely it because it's not narrative. It has a way of transcending time or the
Sure.
the here and the now.
Yeah, it's like Cocteau Twins music in a way, right? You just don't know what the heck's going on there sometimes.
I don't know about that.
I don't
mean,
know.
I think
there's no lyrics to understand either.
it's always funny. I look up Cocteau Twins lyrics when I listen to music, and you could go to different like lyric pages, and like the lyrics change all over the place.
Well, it's like on the ending of that Lost in Translation movie where, what is he whispers something into Scarlett Johansson's ear,
Yeah.
Right.
but you don't know what it is, and you're just kind of always wondering, well, what does he exactly say? What is it? And you don't know, right? Because no one knows. But he says something. It's like a key moment. It's kind of it's like one of those things where you'll always wonder, and there's no exact like, what does that mean? You don't know what it means. Like, what does that ending exactly mean?
Right.
You'll never know because there's no nothing is said that we
Which
can
is the
hear.
reason why that movie is so celebrated, right? Because it doesn't answer questions and it's not trying to.
Right? Does but that it can be as like he could have said something really simple, as your art.
See you later.
Could be see you later, dude. Or it could be like, we're gonna fornicate in 15 minutes after I get out of this cab, right?
You might want to get a birth control test.
Oh my god.
See you later tonight. My jet's picking you up, you know. But you know, like it's one of those things that's just really oblique to me. You don't know, and I think almost every show at Giant Robot has had a figure or character. I mean, this is a one exhibition that's got none of those things.
Yeah.
And I think it's the only exhibition too where there's less material in it than when you started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the. I don't think I've had other shows that has that much, you know, that much removed from it. Usually it's building
paper,
on.
yeah.
It's building on, but then usually there's a character or a narrative, and this is a show where there's not one. That's obvious, and then I think that's interesting.
Yeah. No, it is.
So I don't really know. I don't think about it too much.
But are you celebrating graphic design with it too, or is that like not even part of the idea?
I think I draw from it I draw from that craft of graphic design, but I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Because you know, is it like, I mean, can you say this is art that it encompasses a lot of graphic design? Is that okay to say?
Well, graphic design, like I always cite design, especially in my earlier works, because its design is about color theory and composition. You know, I can't really put my finger on it. I think the way, you know, you combine certain colors, you know, and shapes, like especially for like the, you know, the ones that are like, what are they called again? The rocks.
Geodes?
Yeah, the
maybe?
geodes, like the, you know, you have that like triangular kind of rough pattern. Then you like have these smooth radial kind of patterns, you know, in contrast to it. Like that's there's a lot of like, you know, there's some design kind of theories in terms of where it was shape versus, you know, and then the way you use color, you know, to like create like that weird sense of, you know, depth and, you know, we don't really try and create shadow, but like, you know, it's
some of it does have shadow, right? Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, interesting.
Oh, that's but
I mean, it's like one of those things. If I want to put it like a name on it, it's impossible. But I mean, something about it that makes me feel like, yeah, it's art that does celebrate some graphic design or graphic design elements. But that's also weird to say. I feel like I'm cheapening it in a way by saying that.
Well,
but I shouldn't.
I don't think
I mean,
so,
but
yeah.
graphic designs. I love graphic design, so it resonates with me. But I think, you know, for some people, maybe they just don't quite get it.
Like when I,
you know?
when I talk about looking at art aesthetically, it's almost really just reflecting back on graphic design principles like color, composition, shape, you know, line. I feel like what art was before, it was really just design, and what art is now is like, I don't know, because design's almost like a craft now, you know, if that makes sense. Because art can be anything, but design has principles around it. Like, I don't know what the principles of art are. I don't know. It could be anything at this point.
Oh, here we go.
Thanks, Duchamp, right? It's like,
here we go.
but back in the day, art, you know, there's criteria. There's like guidelines and principles and.
Right. Well, you know, I was talking to Peter, what's his
Chan?
Peter Chan.
about this. And,
his art's got graphic design elements too.
Oh, it
right?
does.
Yeah,
it does.
That's what I'm saying.
love
But
this stuff.
his has figures and narratives.
But it's about
You know?
it's about composition, like because composition is such a key element to all these things, you know. And if you understand like things like Gestalt and you know, whatever it. You know, you'll know how to break up a page and, you know, or a surface, and, you know, to create like, you know, hierarchy, and creating hierarchy in the on a visual hierarchy,
Right.
and on the panel or the page. You know, that's you know, I would think that like design takes from art, you know, from that. Like, you know, artists who, you know, used like, you know, triangular compositions and stuff like that to, you know, create the illusion of depth and hierarchy. Graphic designers probably saw that and go, oh, we could just, here's like the horizon line, we'll write text like this way.
That, or
you know?
also maybe from nature, you know.
Yeah.
That's just
What's
going to happen
aesthetically
too.
pleasing, right?
Yeah, so I say some of that, but like I think that like when you are, I mean, looking at nature is nature, but when you try and recreate a sense of nature onto a page, you know, you need to be able to, you know what you see out there and how you transcribe it onto the page is a completely different thing. You know, it's like, you know, taking a photograph and like how you where you put the subject in relationship to the viewfinder.
Right.
All these things like are very, I think painters like Leonardo da Vinci and all these other like master artists probably like started with that, and then like come with the print the print press, the printers or page layouts and stuff like that probably took from those theories and applied it to typography and stuff like that. Color theory is a huge thing. Like, I'm looking around at, some of the posters that you have, up, and, like wondering like, wow, they chose these colors, against these backgrounds, because like I was just actually thinking of your, the crown that you created and like the way you arranged the colors. And like, I think, like I would probably like struggle even with something like that, because like, like one easy way of doing it is just going, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, purple, back to blue again. And how can you like break up these colors in a way so that it isn't a rainbow, but it's a rainbow?
Yeah. How did you pick? We were looking at the colors on.
Oh, you were on those
not
pieces.
Not just that one, but also the geode one, right? We were kind of like geode-ish ones, but I just know that it looks like you're going from light to dark, right? Dark in the middle
within the actual ring part.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
dark in the middle, and I mean, is it that simple? I don't know.
I mean,
because you're using about 20 colors, right?
Yeah.
It's
generally is that, but also within that, some of the lightness and darkness overlap, so between that you kind of have to pick which colors work with each other. So
right, so I mean, like, one way you could do is you could just arrange it by value,
make it
but then like because you don't want to look too predictable, right? Like you don't want to like just put it out like again, and like like a rainbow, you want to like break up the way the colors kind of put together and come together in a way that is a little bit unpredictable but harmonious at the same time.
Well, you're using pastels too, right? There's like pink and light greens, and I don't know, those are like scary colors to me. It's like those are hard to deal with.
Yeah, I was I was having dinner with Andrew Brando and Travis Lampy, and we were talking about like the colors that we generally avoid, using. And like one of the colors that I always kind of like shy away from is purple.
Oh, me too, actually.
Yeah, purple is like just like, oh, like
I don't know why.
It's a tough color for me. But then certain artists who, but then like, what's his name?
Andrew Hem?
No.
He's all about purple.
Oh, Andrew Hem uses, well, people who like I should be using more purple because like, what's his name? Andrew Brando was saying like, because I work with a lot of black now, black lends to purple easily. And I was just like, oh, you're right. Why didn't I see that before? But like, the thing is though, is that like, mixing a tube of cadmium red, paint with a phthalo blue, red hue just does not create purple easily. You actually kind of have to buy purple paint because the violets and like those red or blue hued purples are just weird. Actually, I think secondary colors are just kind of weird in general. Anyways, I think we're getting kind of like off in a weird place, and the conversation is probably getting really boring right now. So
you got into like super art geek stuff that I don't even. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. Just use purple, dude. It's all good. Just buy the. I was thinking that. I was just like, why are you talking about mixing colors? Just buy a tube of paint, squeeze tube onto the palette.
Oh, I do. I do. I've got 3 tubes of purple in my
get
thing.
Get that metal spatula.
I bust them out once in a while,
Yeah.
like mostly to like touch up my Gundam models.
So Huntz, what does your drawings look like? Like, talk about what does your drawings or paintings look like, or are you doing much of that anymore? What is that?
Only as precursors to my paperwork, not paintings for sure, but my drawings are
I mean, are
Their
they
line work? Yeah. I mean, you'll see some of the drawings I'm
Sure.
gonna submit for that next show.
cool? But I mean,
but
is it just looks like yours? You know, like you have the same things, triangles, and
pretty
to make, you know,
closely.
it is,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Some of it is pretty rough. Just gives me a like a good starting point. But
so you don't do like
they used to be a lot more refined.
Yeah.
But now they're just really messy. Yeah.
Do you like mess up when you're cutting your shapes out?
Oh yeah, I mess up a lot actually.
Like how like
But I'm able to
salvage it?
or cover it up or yeah.
Okay, so like especially with the pieces that are like kind of like dimensional.
Yeah.
Like like, are you do you have all the paper layered together and you cutting through it all at once to get that perfect edge?
Why are you laughing, Eric? What?
funny? Answer the question, dude.
No.
That's usually he goes, I don't know. This is what he usually does. I don't know. What do you think? He didn't do it though.
Yeah. I kind
actually-
of like when people, think of it or like question how it's done.
Sure.
It's kind of like sometimes I'll draw a parallel to like magic. I know Eric hates magic.
You
But
hate magic?
Oh yeah, let's talk.
Yeah, I don't
about
like
this.
magic, dude.
Well, this
Yeah.
lying. So
I
That's
know,
exactly what Eric
right?
was saying.
Yeah, magic is full bullshit.
yeah, it is the art of bullshit.
I don't want to go somewhere and just be lied to for like hours or whatever, then walk on.
But
Dude,
is
I just
it
got
really
lied
a
to.
lie? Maybe it really is magic.
No, it's a lie.
No, but that is magic. By definition, magic is an illusion. It's a lie.
Yeah,
So like
your art's not a lie, so
yeah.
it's not an illusion.
right.
So it's nothing. I don't think
Yeah.
it's magic-like in any way, but
Yeah, I mean like
But
'cause-
it's like how's it done?
yeah, like
but yours is for real though. It's
Yeah.
done.
Like
it's
the-
not like here's the nut game, and oh yeah, the peanut's now under that walnut somehow. It's through some sleight of hand, right?
Well,
Your art is not a sleight of hand.
the ones that kind of trip me out are the positive negative ones. Like on the back right corner, you have these ones where it's cut into the
Oh, the small
shades,
ones.
and then you have
Yeah.
the mirror of it where it's
Yeah.
the relief of it.
Yeah.
Innies and outies. That's
Yeah.
what
They're
I
the
These are-
same pieces. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're the same
but-
cutouts from the.
Are those actually like the paper that you cut from that, or did you actually just take the paper and kind of recreate the? Actually, you don't need to answer that question. I think it's
I think
don't answer.
I
that.
asked Huntz that exact question.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
answer
I
that.
mean, that one. Okay.
Don't answer. I don't think it's not important for us to know because like I want to believe that like you use magic for
Oh, God, I regret saying that.
I think you use superpowers to mirror those cut those things perfectly at the
It's
same
more
time.
like I feel like if I not reveal, but like it. I don't know. Some of that
no
the magic trick from a magician, if you know how it's done, it kind of lessens the experience as an observer.
Magic's fake anyway, though. It doesn't matter.
You know what we need to get? We need to get that card guy. Have you seen that that Asian dude who does like super card tricks? We'll never get him because he's like America's
Well,
Got
Shin
Talent.
Lim? Dude,
yeah,
that guy is crazy.
Yeah.
He won it twice.
yeah,
Eric, I'm gonna send you some YouTube links of this
Yeah.
guy, man.
He's-
He's
he's-
on Ellen now. He's everywhere.
yeah. He's amazing.
Is he doing magic?
Yeah, a lot of.
He's
card
doing
tricks.
card tricks.
Yeah, close-up card tricks.
Yeah.
Card illusions, I should
Yeah.
say.
All right, whatever.
No, it's, I mean, like it's cool, but like I and he always like has like some instrumental M83 track, playing in the background, and I'm a big M83 fan, so I'm like, oh, I like this song,
Magic. But I think if you knew Huntz's technique, I think if you told it to 100 people, I don't think those 100 people can make what he makes.
No, of course. Well,
Yeah,
so
so it doesn't really matter.
Well,
Oh, yeah, that's not what I'm like necessarily like.
Well, I was thinking about the panels that you're cutting, and like in my eyes, the only way you could really do it that cleanly is cutting it through the back, because because the blades come in at an angle,
Yeah.
and in order to hide those micro cuts, it's easier to do it from the back rather than from the front, but then finish it in the front maybe, that's my theory on how you get like some of those the fronts, the white pieces cut.
Oh, you mean the top layer?
Yeah, the top layer.
Oh.
Because like, have you ever tried cutting?
Oh, you mean so you think that there's a bevel also, or do you think it's a straight cut?
No, it's a straight cut,
right?
but like, you know, to get that shape like perfect, you know, going from point to point to point to point to point to
You mean the
point.
corners and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. That's my theory.
You have to do that from the back.
But no,
think?
you have to. It's easier to. You might want to start from the. I would probably start from the back and then finish in the front. You know, but you know,
I think you just need a. I think the key is a very sharp blade still on that, no matter what.
Right.
I think if it's a sharp blade, I think you can just do it from the front.
You know, I'm having like flashback nightmares of, you know, my teachers like, you know, handing my work back to me from design school with, you know, like marks on the vellum over the cover vellum, you know, over the corners of my mats, going, you know, overcut, and I'm just like, you know, B, you know, and I'm like, damn it. So
yeah, that was important in school.
But then I guess
presentation.
part of it's pressure of the blade still, right? That creates that can really fuck up your paper, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right, you don't want to cut too hard because, you know, if you accidentally cut from the wrong angle.
Oh. Do you ever cut from the wrong angle?
Like if you're not perfectly straight down, you're like,
That's what I'm saying. Do you ever
know.
do that? Or are you at this point you don't make
Sometimes.
you don't make that mistake, right?
Well, it depends. Yeah,
Okay.
how much paper I'm cutting.
I think Eric was telling me that you couldn't use like a machine kind of router because it didn't make perfect edges.
Oh yeah,
corners.
Yeah, homie tried to use a creek cut machine.
I was just testing it to see, and yeah.
Oh, I know. I think I know what you're talking
This
about.
was actually before
Or
I
whatever.
was.
A silhouette or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I was actually layering work that much.
Oh, okay.
It was when I was just doing flat stuff, so I was.
He was trying to cheat with one of those Michaels machines, you know, like in the back of
Dude.
Michaels.
I would cheat 100%, man. Who cares what the process is as long as the finished product is amazing.
But the tool is not good enough. That's what it came down to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can outcut one of those machines. I can't outcut one of those machines.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, is there a machine out there that can make those perfect, you know, like straight edges and sharp
I
angles?
think certain CNCs are pretty. Yeah, they could do.
So
a
you gotta
lot
buy
these
an
days.
expensive machine.
Yeah. But
Do you think, man, I can only do this for so long before, you know?
sometimes, when I'm in a piece, it's fine. But when I'm like starting a piece, yeah, it's hard.
You know, that's actually like a piece of advice that like I think Gary Baseman was telling Travis Lampy, like, you know, if you're going to like, you know, try and get a career and all this, don't make it too hard for yourself, man. Like, do something like, you know, a little bit more, a little loose, a little fun. You know, you don't need to like, you know, perfectly render shit. You know, just, you know, make it easy on yourself.
So
man.
with that information, what would you do, Huntz? Like, what would you do?
Quit.
Oh, come on.
Well, you know what the thing is,
Like, let's go loose with these cuts. Is this possible?
I mean, find a tool. I think when I try to explore with the other materials, we'll see where that goes. That will save me, you know, definitely time. But I don't know. I don't mind the cutting. That's the thing. It's just time consuming, you know.
Does it have to be 20 layers deep? Can you actually shrink that up and make it less? Or do you
It
want?
can,
Is that
but it's not.
you
Yeah, that's
like
when I
it?
first started. It was, you know, I did like 5 layers. I was like, cool. And then when I went to 10 layers, I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is probably as deep as I can go. That's generally been my progress. Has been like, oh yeah, this is probably as much as I can do.
And you go to a 20
And
cut?
then I try to, you know, just push it a little bit each time and see where it goes. You know.
I mean, the process,
Awesome.
the end results are fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna try to keep maintaining that process where I'm just experimenting and trying new things. Yeah. I don't know. I just get bored really easily. So as far as the final product, yeah.
It's painful to look at.
But yeah.
If you went to like, you know, a school or like studied art and design and had to cut mats and cut like, you know, that shit and got like, you know, docked because you accidentally cut like an extra millimeter over the window, you know, and then you see your work. It's just like,
Huntz would be teaching that class and circling your mats, you know, but none of this plastic over it. He just put a marker right to your mat.
Yeah, but then I'd fail your painting class. So there you
well,
go.
Oh.
you know,
Yeah.
you don't need to
can't
grade
paint.
you don't need to
Mixing
crank the
colors
painting
and
class.
stuff. I'm like, oh.
You don't, you know, painting. painting, like illustration, it's all just practice. You know what I mean? Like the more you do it, the better you get.
Same as cutting paper, I guess. I don't know about
That's true, actually.
Actually, yeah, it is true. It's all
just
whether
have-
or not
just
you
have to
have
do it,
the idea
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
What
know,
wanna do, yeah.
like at the end of the day.
This is my water.
Yeah. So, are you using just a standard that aluminum-looking X-Acto blade, where you know what I'm saying, or do you have a special one that's
Oh,
got
the
a
actual knife? I have
yeah?
like
Is there a comfortable
20
handle?
different knives, but I use one that I found that was really nice. It's like a Fisker. Like
Fisker.
They make scissors, you know?
Sure. Yeah, like craft
I don't
hobby
know. It's
stuff,
like an
right?
orange
Yeah.
handle, like kind of like silicone-y.
Oh, so it's
Yeah,
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
So because otherwise there's that like, is it a $2 one that's like an aluminum barrel basically? That
yeah.
that's
Yeah, the
that's,
standard one.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Those-
don't-
Does that suck?
You don't
Yeah,
use a
yeah.
utility
It's no
knife or anything like that.
What's that?
You don't use like the utility knives where you could break the
Oh
blade.
no, I can't. Yeah. No, I need something soft too, because if it's just metal or aluminum, yeah, you build like calluses, or not calluses, but you know, like blisters and stuff real quick.
So before showing with Giant Robot, were you showing your work anywhere else?
Yeah, here and there. I still don't really understand how any of this really works. So
There was a cafe, right?
yeah, I had some work up in a coffee shop
remember
in Highland
that.
Park. Yeah, that was cool.
What other galleries have you like reached out? Like, were you?
The funny thing is, way back in the day, when I first kind of started out a little bit, I was doing some shows I had some work in Nucleus.
Oh,
Yeah, actually, I think I remember seeing you at some openings and stuff too.
yeah.
Yeah, and then,
Mhm.
oh yeah.
Awesome.
No, I was just saying, like, yeah, I've known Nucleus. I'm trying to remember his name right now. Ben.
Ben.
Yeah. I've like known Ben like when I remember going to his gallery with the first month they opened
The
because
smaller one, right? That was
Yeah.
further up Main Street. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was just like, because, you know, an art gallery opens up in my, because I was at the time I was living in Monterey Park, and I was just
Oh,
like,
right.
oh,
Yeah,
cool.
right.
Like I
Is
got
Is that Alhambra though?
It's in Alhambra. Yeah.
Alhambra, right?
yeah, it's in Alhambra. Alhambra's right next to Monterey Park.
Sort of near that of the Atlantic, that whole Atlantic, right?
Yeah, it's
Am I wrong?
it's like
too
between
far.
at the time
Yeah.
it was between Garfield and Atlantic on Main
but
Street.
that Atlantic movie theater thing. It's sort
Yeah.
of like a few blocks, right?
Both of these
Yeah.
places are literally like
Yeah.
a block or two
Yeah,
away
yeah,
from
yeah.
that theater. Yeah, so
So that's the
But-
first gallery I showed in, like small pieces. They did like this Power and Numbers show. I don't know if you remember that, but they were like postcard sized pieces.
I remember that show.
It's the first time I did some like flat paperwork. Yeah, and then I just, whatever reason, kind of just stopped working so much in that realm. I just focused on web design and, you know, having like a career in that field. So, but more
More pays the bills.
recently, just had like a 2-person show in New York in like early 2017, which
Ooh,
was
nice.
a really good experience.
Was that the ones? No, that's not the ones with the big plastic pieces, right? That was
No,
that was,
I've
was
never shown the plastic pieces. I don't think
that was
Wait.
like that was for a job work.
Oh yeah,
I mean
yeah,
that was
yeah,
like
that
a
was
commission or something.
Yeah, that was really a pain in the ass. But
Yeah, that was last year, right?
that was
He did
end
like
of
he
two-
did them in plastic
Yeah, that was end of 2017.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were like, it was like 35 by 35
and
inches.
heavy, I guess.
quarter
It's got to
inch.
be heavy.
Acrylic sheets.
Wow.
It was heavy. It was like 60 pounds a piece.
Jeez.
I like
And
cut
what-
my stuff like because the edges are so sharp. Like
One color? Was it one?
it was
color?
all white. Yeah. So
But
something I
that
wanna
you
explore
didn't-
More.
You cut by hand still?
No. I used a
Okay.
laser cutter for that. Yeah.
I was like,
had
wait,
someone
you can't-
fabricate that for me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
But-
crazy. Or they're hanging somewhere now, right?
Hopefully.
You don't even know?
Yeah, I mean they're supposed to be somewhere. It was commissioned through a company that furnishes like hotels and stuff. It's supposed to be in Vegas somewhere. I don't know, in some suite.
oh,
Oh,
wow.
inside of a suite?
Yeah.
Oh,
I should try
crazy.
to find it. But
Oh, you know, I speaking
art.
of like hotels, like I actually stayed in this hotel in Shanghai where this, you know, they had this, you know, all the paintings were original paintings, and like, you know,
Oh, wow.
from the lobby to all the hotel rooms, and like, I just couldn't even imagine what it means to like create that much art
By one
for-
artist?
It was all by
Oh,
one
wow.
artist.
But
They probably got paid a lot.
Chinese
though.
artist, do you think? Like
I don't know.
Someone out there
had
with
it looked like LA style art. Like
Oh,
it was
really?
very figurative. You know, it, like had like a diver. You know,
wow.
and you'd see like like the legs, and they'll have like some geometric shapes.
because
in
if
there.
that was like an artist in China, they bust out art sometimes. Like,
Dude.
they have like art factories or something.
I've
man, that's
had
sad.
ideas where I wanted to like go to one of these factories and have them paint my character like 100 of them and like and then I was going to like I just
Oh,
I have
that's
an,
awesome.
I have an idea for a show called 100 and it's all about a study in numerology and pricing, and basically it would be the same bear painted, and each one of them it would have a number on the forehead, 1 to 100.
That's cool. It's
And
like
then
conceptual.
the prices from number 1, number 100, 23, 69, 1 through 10. What it would be like this weird, like kind of like scale of pricing, and then like certain numbers would shoot up, like 69, obviously, because it's 69, dude. And
23 would be a high one. Would 23 be high?
yeah, 23 would be a high
7,
one too.
99.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
What-
like,
what about 24?
nah.
I don't know.
So you'd have like all
45?
the,
How about
Kobe.
45? How about 45?
Are you talking about jersey numbers?
I was just talking about magical numbers, man. Magic.
Oh,
numbers.
Magic. Because
it's
Jordan
gotta-
was 45 too, right?
What about 32? What about 32 then?
Magic?
no. Well, it's got to be
Luke's
prime.
like, stop.
No,
Stop talking
prime
about
numbers.
basketball.
42?
Prime numbers are
42 is
the
a
most
good one.
interesting numbers. Like, but the thing is, so like you'd have like a whole bunch of paintings that are priced at like maybe $100 a piece, but then you have certain paintings that are priced at like
Gotcha.
like 600, 700.
Well, that high? That's a big fluctuation.
Well, number 1.
Yeah.
Number
600.
100.
Yeah.
So like those are like
What's a
69.
What would be a number no one wants though? Is there one that someone's like, fuck that? That's the
Some
one I don't
trash
want.
number, yeah. Like,
Yeah, is there one? I don't know.
I don't know.
60.
59. Well, it's kind of like,
Yeah, 59.
59,
Yeah.
29 kind of
Like
blows too.
my favorite numbers are 3, 7, and 73 because it's my birthday.
Oh.
So but
Aw.
like, I know.
Aw.
But like but also I have a palindrome birthday.
Wait, was it 3?
73?
3773. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
those are rare, right? They have to be, or maybe not. Do that math.
There's
2772.
2772.
It's got to happen.
1771. But like I'm sure there's not a lot of people in this world that like have them.
Maybe just a million.
Just like
Me,
everyone
right?
born on this one particular day a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Get,
I mean, if you
get
do that
them.
math, I mean, do you ever think about like, say your follower count on Instagram? I mean, you guys have a lot, right? Divide that by 365. Technically, that should be the amount of people that share your birthday, right? Isn't that crazy? If you have 30,000 followers,
Right.
divided by whatever, you have like
I have
100
never...
people that share your birthday.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's always weird
That's
is
what I'm saying. That's why I
Yeah,
said a
a
million.
million, right?
That's
It's
why I
probably
said
more
a
than that,
million when
yeah.
you're saying, how many people have that? I'm like, million? Millions?
Well, yeah, but like out of billions.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
but still millions. That would fill up a room in a second, man.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
maybe. It's just a million.
Imagine if you had a million people in this house and they all cut a fart. You would die. Literally die.
Yeah. Well, that's so much methane,
They would all die. Like everyone would die.
only if it was a sealed room.
Yeah.
You
But you would
know.
die. Well, this
Yeah.
isn't sealed. A room isn't that sealed, but I think you'd still die. Like, I don't think you'd get any fresh air.
That should be a Mythbusters. We should pitch that.
Are Mythbusters? No, Mythbusters
I don't
aren't
know.
even
Is that a
like
thing
you
anymore?
know. I love
Oh, they're
Mythbusters.
not gonna kill someone either. Yeah.
But like I tried watching Mythbusters recently, and it was just I found the show kind of annoying.
So it's still on. Or are you talking about you watching old episodes?
the old episodes,
Oh.
and I was just
really?
like, yeah. I mean, like because I loved it at the time,
Mm-hmm.
loved it.
Well, because some
You
of the
know.
myths were interesting, like ones you
Yeah.
kind of knew. But I think there's a lot of myths where I'm like, that's not a myth. You're
Right.
just making this shit up.
Yeah. Now they're just kind of like going like,
Yeah.
is this possible?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's like like,
So
well,
let's
who
try
cares?
the million people in a small room, and everyone has to fart, and
Well,
then see
like,
if you die.
What's the smallest
die.
space
I
you
think
could
by like
fit?
10,000 people, everyone's already dead.
I think you die. Yeah.
Well, what's the smallest space you could fit 1 million people in?
I don't know. Well, how about 10,000 people in this one room?
I mean, like you take
no
Staples
way.
Center, and
die.
Staples Center will only fit like maybe like what 20,000 people.
no more, right?
Are we talking about stacking them?
Yeah, we're not
No, like as people just standing.
I don't know. Probably like 30,000.
Probably
30
yeah,
something? I don't
yeah,
know.
30,000
So
in the
you get
seats,
Maybe more.
And you get the
maybe
cord. I don't
another
know.
5,000 on the floor.
You get a lot of people.
So
Yeah.
You know,
But that's got good air conditioning. So this isn't happening.
Yeah,
now.
you turn off the air conditioning and everyone farts at the same time. Fucking,
I think there's too much ceiling though. You gotta like make it a tighter space.
We
you
need
know?
to create a meme
You're gonna
about
die.
this.
Anyway,
you know?
not that important, but
How did we get on that?
because a million people share his
Farts.
birthday.
Oh, right.
Oh, jeez. Anyways,
But out of a billion people in the world or whatever, billions, yeah.
so coming up, Eric, you've got a movie coming. Your movie's being
wow.
rescreened.
Yeah.
It's called Sunsets. Yeah.
What's it about?
It's about 3 guys that live in a small town called Watsonville, and they're having their sort of like last summer together. You know, before one has to go away to school, and you know what I'm saying. It's
Right.
sort of like I don't want to say dissolving of a friendship or friendships, but kind of thing that a lot of people go through. It's like people that you hang out with, and all of a sudden you do this other thing, and you have new friends there, and sort of like there's this little pull of, you know, your life's changing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's basically a metaphor for like just people whose lives are changing. So this is like 3 guys that live in a small town, and that's kind of what happens.
Did you write it?
I co-wrote it with my cousin.
Oh,
Yeah. And this was made in he shot it in 1996.
Wow.
96. It was 16 millimeter film before video. So you'd have to, it's just expensive. You have to buy the film, get it processed, make a print, you know, just all these kind of steps just to make a movie, right? Now it's like you could just shoot it on your DSLR camera and you can get it going.
Are the
like,
actors
easily.
going to be in attendance?
My cousin's one of them. So he will be. And I think he invited the other 2. One I found out recently is a nurse, like a nurse in San Luis Obispo.
Really?
Yeah, he's actually a nurse there. I think he was doing other stuff, odds and end jobs maybe. I'm not sure, but then he's now a nurse. And then the other person I think lives in Southern Cal, and I don't know if he's going to come or not, but we'll see.
Oh.
But yeah, it's one of those things that, and the whole point of it is it's going to be on a channel called Chopso. Do you know what that is? It's chopso.org. It's not a Netflix or one of these channels. It's a much smaller one. And we're just going to be on that.
Cool.
Which
Is it
Lucky's
gonna
gonna
be free to stream? Or
no
how's
way. That
You have
shit's
to-
that's
you
just
have
a
to
subscription.
subscribe?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
subscription.
Chopso?
Yeah, chopso.org. But the whole thing is it's a new I guess you would say remastered. I mean, it's the film is actually retransferred because I swear when it was done, technology was different, man. It looks like 2 generations lost of VHS. You know, that's
wow.
how bad it looked. But now it's was it a 2K? I think the transfer is 2K quality. So, but I think we're screening at 1080p. But I mean, it's 2K quality, so the 16 millimeter actually looks sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like it never looked sharp.
Wow.
So I was the director of photography for that. So I always just kind of like, man, it just does not look good. You know. But now it looks pretty damn good. For the first time I could be like, okay, it's finally looking sharp and looking how it's supposed to.
Where's it screening at?
It's showing in Little Tokyo across from Janum. It's a theater there that maybe, I don't know, seats 150 people. Or
Oh,
something like
I
that.
think I've never been in that theater before, but it's like right there. It's got that weird boxing thing in the front of it, right?
Yeah, but then that theater is like an amphitheater style, like, you know, you're sort of, it's like
Actually,
a movie theater. It's like a movie
I
theater.
did the that weird drawing thing.
Oh, you did?
there
I
with
forgot.
you.
You did? I don't remember.
Yeah,
Did
it
you?
was me, Yosuke.
Oh, you were there?
Mori.
You were there?
Yeah, I
oh,
was
that was
there.
you. I forgot,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that space. But then, so it's going to show there, and it'll be the one. I don't know if this. So this film, every time it shows, I'm always thinking this is the last time it's ever going to screen. Like no one's going to. This is it. And then somehow, like like last year, it showed in New York. So we actually went to
cool.
New York for a screening, and sorry, but it looked like shit. I mean, it's just like we're putting up what looks like a 480p, worse than VHS kind of
On big
quality.
screen.
But now it's looking really sharp. So if it ever does show again after Friday, which is this Friday, that'll be dope. But
Did your
it looks good,
who's the
though.
director?
I co-directed it with my cousin.
Okay,
Who
because
actually
I thought
acted
you
in
said that you're the DP.
I was that too. This is a small
Okay.
production, man. I carried the camera around and had to change the film myself. It's one of those super indie films.
Oh wow.
But yeah, this in 1996, and it came out in 97. And get this, so us being all Asian American, we could talk about this in cinema at that time. So in 1997, there were supposedly, I guess, 4 Asian American directed feature films made.
That's it.
That's it. And that was a big year. Usually it's one, maybe two.
In 1996.
Or
okay.
97.
Okay.
Or none, right?
Right.
And in 1997, there were 4. So we were one of those 4.
Who were the other? What were the other 3?
One was called Strawberry Field by Rhea Tajiri. One of them is called Yellow by Chris Chan Lee, which is more like, it's like a bunch of kids and I don't know what they were doing, man. They're growing up and there was like a problem happens.
I feel
and
like I might have watched that.
Yeah,
Yellow.
isn't
It's
that
called
called
Yellow.
Better Luck Tomorrow?
Okay.
What are actors in
that comes out
right?
later. Yellow's cast. A lot of them are all like.
Okay.
I think John Cho guy was in there.
Okay.
But and then the other one's called Shopping for Fangs, which is co-directed with Quentin Lee and Justin Lin. Justin Lin became the
Better Luck Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Better Luck Tomorrow and Fast and Furious dude.
Yeah.
So his movie, technically his first movie was that year as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
in that year, our 4 films actually went around the country playing at Asian American film festivals, which are smaller, but and we actually went around the country touring with
awesome.
it.
Wow.
So we went to like, I don't know, 6 film festivals maybe, but we went to all of them and hung
So
out with these, the same filmmakers. And it was one of those things that year, it was a big deal like, that there were 4, because the next year after that, there were like none. Right. So
Right,
it's like, that was still like one of the bigger years. And they called it the Asian American New Wave. And so we were technically,
movement.
I'm part of a movement called the Asian American New Wave.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, class of 97. They always call it that. And to this day, they still refer to it as class of 97. So I was part of class of 97.
Well, I mean,
Because there is no class of 98. Like, they don't talk about any other year. This is one year they still talk
4
about.
films.
Well, you went
'cause it's
on.
4
No,
films.
just because you didn't do films
I
didn't
retired,
mean
man.
you didn't make an impact. Not necessarily, maybe not even
don't
necessarily
know.
in film,
Our
but like
films,
on the
yeah.
Asian American community.
Oh,
Maybe.
for sure.
Yeah.
Just me personally. Yeah.
But that film...
Were you reading his Giant Robot back in the day?
Yeah, in Rochester.
You were?
There's like no Asian American
Rochester?
anything in Rochester.
How'd you find it?
Isn't it like every Barnes and Noble?
Oh, they had Barnes & Noble there?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
shit. Rochester.
Yeah, I was reading it from Fresno to San Luis Obispo.
They had it in Fresno? Tower.
Yeah, Tower
Yeah.
Tower Records.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. But
yeah.
anyway, so yeah, that's the film, man.
Wow.
like-
I wish I could be. I wish I was going to be in town to see it.
Well, we could watch it another time. But at least it's going to look good. I'm super happy that it's going to be sharp and in focus.
Did you
finally.
did you were you the one who brought it out to get it like
I've always wanted to, but no, my cousin actually is the one that, he's the one that handled all the files and replaced everything and re-edited it and added stuff. And
Wow.
like he added sound effects. I mean, he added like some stuff, just a little bit. So technically it's a lot better.
Wait, so your cousin was one of the actors.
Yeah, no,
and
he edited it. And he continued with cinema, like still doing stuff,
what does he do now?
Right now, he would do IT work as a job. Like he's not like a filmmaker for money, but he's made more movies and stuff.
Oh.
But there's a world of people making movies that you'll never see, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. I mean, ultimately, even this Sunsets film, it's like it'll get done probably. I don't know. Will 100 people even see it when it goes online? I mean, I don't know. Maybe 1,000. I have no idea, right? But it could be, again, just another fart in the wind,
It's
Ultimately,
being shown in some,
you never
film
know.
classes.
You just don't know.
What was
I don't
the
know.
general response to it in the beginning?
Oh, at the time it was like, so this is interesting. The Asian American Film Festivals, especially at that time, the San Francisco Asian American Film Festival was awesome. Like they treated you really well. The film sold out like a week early. So, I go there and it's like, there's a long line of people before the movie starts. I was like, dude, look at this long ass line, 200, it's like 300 or 200 and something people, I think.
Still.
We weren't even in the big theater. There's a big theater. We weren't even in the big one. But seeing a line of 200 and something people just to see your movie was amazing.
Yeah.
And it was sold out. And I don't know, big reception. People were really into it, happy. And you think you're like doing really well. And then maybe a month later, it shows at another film festival and 10 people are there. And,
Right.
and nobody gives a fuck. And they don't treat you like well at all, right? And then you're like, fuck. You go from like what you think the first film festival was epic. You're like, oh shit.
This is gonna be amazing. We're on for a ride.
This year is going to be amazing. Yeah. There's going to be everything everywhere. People are going to fly us out everywhere. Chicks everywhere, right? Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Everything. And no, man. So the San Francisco one was epic and great. Most of the other film festivals were not. LA one was okay, but like the New York one was just wow, I think those 10 people there. And I was like, oh shit. Like nobody gave a fuck, you know? That's what I'm saying. Like, so ultimately, we had some great reviews, but in the world of cinema, it's like a fart in the wind almost, like almost nothing.
Well, but did your audiences genuinely enjoy it?
The ones that seen it, yeah. I found out too. Interesting. David Cho saw it in San Francisco at that film festival
no way.
because it only screened like once or twice in San Francisco. And he actually saw the one, the film festival one. He told me, talk to me, and I don't remember. But he told me he actually came and talked to me afterwards and said it was like totally like his life. And I was like, whoa.
All right, dude.
Yeah, bro. But we're talking that's 97 or something.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
But it did travel a little bit, and then ultimately, like film festival films, they just kind of die a fast death. I hate to say, I've seen so many films at film festivals, and you can't find them. Like they're not on Netflix. They're just gone. And literally, there's some good movies that you'll never see.
Why don't you guys just put it on YouTube?
Could have, but I think the funniest part was putting it onto this channel. I think we can actually if we want to, but I think putting it on this channel made us want to make a new cut. So I have to minimally think, you know what I mean? It kind of lit a fire under our ass to do something with it. Because without that, we would have just been like, fuck that thing, man, forget it.
What are you? Let's
leave it alone.
I mean, do you get paid for it?
If people watch it, yeah.
Get pennies per the screening.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, man. I'm just glad to have a clean
After
version.
several years, you get like a check for $5.
Oh yeah, it's probably like that, maybe. But it's one of those things that ultimately having a clean copy of it finally, is worth it on its own. I just want that.
And it's digital.
Yeah. So I just want that, and that's good enough.
That's nice.
Yeah. I
So
can't
anyways,
wait to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be here for the screening either, unfortunately.
Where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going?
I'm gonna go check out Desert X on Friday, and then Vegas, and then
What?
What's Desert X?
What's
Desert X is that
Is it Firefest?
you guys
kind of a
haven't
thing?
been seeing this on Instagram? It's pretty big right now. It's like out in Coachella Valley, like Indio, Palm Springs, Joshua Tree. There's just all these like
all these places.
off the freeway.
Oh,
off
it's
the
the art
highway.
thing.
Yeah, the art thing.
It's that
Oh,
crazy
you guys
art
thought it was
thing.
like a rave or
Yeah.
something?
I thought it was a rave.
Even
If it's
I
got the
was, I
word
would
X
not
in it,
be
there's only
saying-
it
I
can
would
only
not
mean
be-
one
Yeah.
thing, man.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I thought, I was like, so is this like that dude who throws cakes? What's the Benihana guy?
Steve Aoki.
Yeah. Steve Aoki. Is this like a Steve Aoki party? I was like,
Desert
Huntz.
Aoki.
Hunts.
You're like,
Yeah,
"Hunts, get off the
man. Must be
podcast
nice
now."
to be 37.
Oh, God. I'd be like 10 years older than anyone at any rate right now.
Oh, I see. Okay, that sounds cool.
But,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually fun.
Yeah.
And especially
Yeah.
while it's nice and cool out.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to be like burning it.
The only time I ever like think about going to that thing is like right around when I'm, if I'm had to be there like during freaking cool fucking Cella, which I kind of want to go to this year because Aphex Twin's playing and Tame Impala's playing, but like that's it. It's not really worth the hassle, So
Desert X.
Desert X.
Why do they
X.
call it that,
I don't
man?
know. Yeah. But
Yeah.
at least they're doing it. I mean, there was a 27th one, and then there's this year, 2019, there's like new installations or new sculptural works.
And
so.
it's up for a while, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I think it's only up for like a few months. It's only up till like maybe April or something. Or
Actually, I have a friend who's getting married out there in April, so I'll probably
cool.
get a chance to go see it. So that should be fun.
yeah.
Take pictures.
Desert X. I'll see you guys.
I'm
like-
sorry, man. Dude, yeah, I was like,
What is that?
Yeah,
man.
it's at the Indio Polo Fields. It's
Hunt's in the front row.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh. and you're gonna do like maybe your art can be like you can make a video version.
Yeah, you can make
Oh my
three-dimensional
God, for a
sculptural
DJ.
big
Yeah,
versions,
yeah.
like like
Video.
make like inflatable versions of your work.
That would be
you know.
cool.
Yeah.
Actually, that could be really cool.
No, it would be awesome.
Actually, I would like to. I could see you getting like literally sculptural with it, like the geometric shapes
Yeah,
and stuff
I
like
want
that.
to go. Yeah.
Like
big.
making like those geodes into actual physical geodes.
Yeah.
What
cut
might-
resin.
If it
painted.
were, would it be resin? What material would you want that to be? Because could it be?
I don't know.
Would
I
it be
was
like
thinking-
stone-like? Would
I
it
bought
be
a lot
smooth?
of concrete last year, thinking I was gonna try to experiment with concrete. Haven't touched it yet.
I wouldn't do
but
concrete.
I was thinking maybe like it'd be a combination of maybe concrete and plexiglass. Plexiglass as the interior.
Oh,
And
I
then
see.
concrete on the outside, but I don't know. No time.
No, but it's one of those things that I was just, what material would yours be if it were to be 3D? I mean, would it be resin? Would it be glass? Would it be like, what would it be?
I would probably sculpt it in render it in a 3D program, output it into like digitally, and then I have it finished, and then cast it as a resin piece or polystone piece, and then have it painted, or finished, in like that way, or just do white ones and black ones, and see if there's a way of creating that weird illusion of whatever those shapes, maybe like the geode part where you have those radiating shapes, like just have it like kind of sink in.
Cool.
So
Wait, where do you? You bought bags of concrete, like
buckets.
Oh, buckets?
Yeah.
So where's that? You're just sitting in your
It's just
apartment?
sitting in my place.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, not huge buckets. Maybe like
Still,
gallon buckets, 2-gallon buckets.
man.
yeah, you should talk to like
Have fun.
fabricators
Yeah.
about like see if
Yeah,
they
I
have
wanna
some
do-
ideas.
But make one yourself first. I want to see this. I gotta see this.
Yeah, concrete will
Yeah.
be really rough to work with.
Yeah.
Because like when you're like working with resin, they're putting things in vacuum pots to pull all the air out of it, so there's no bubbles and stuff like that. And concrete will just be sloppy, because it's impossible to get the air out. Actually, concrete relies on some of that air for it to, like
The chemical process or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So,
cool.
anyways,
But,
but I think we've gone pretty good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Huntz, thank you so much for coming
thanks
out
for having me on.
for
It's
being on the
been
show.
an
It was a lot of
honor.
fun.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me this show, Eric. At GRT.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant this. I thought you meant
Yeah,
this show.
thanks for giving me this podcast. You guys are off. Next week it's just gonna be me.
Yeah, we're going to be shooting to kind of make this a weekly thing soon.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm done with my Chicago show. So
Yeah, we're gonna go weekly.
Awesome, dude.
yeah, I'll be here.
Definitely gonna tune
Next Tuesday.
Awesome. I'll
Yeah.
be here Tuesday. Who's buying?
Buying.
What's that? Pizza? I don't know.
Huh?
in. Oh, dinner.
All right. Cool. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, we don't need to let people
Yeah.
know about that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks again
Yeah,
for
thanks for
tuning
listening.
in, and we are on Stitcher,
Stitcher, iTunes?
Apple,
What's
iTunes?
Apple
Stitch?
Podcasts.
Stitcher. It's called Stitcher.
It's a streaming
Yeah.
service. Oh, okay.
Are we on the
Spotify?
We are on the Spotify.
Yeah, we're on Spotify.
Sweet.
Yeah. So those three right now, and I don't even know what else we should put them on. That's
I think it's
is that enough?
enough.
That's
Yeah,
enough.
I think
All
it's
right.
enough for now.
Or you could just go to the ericnakamura.com.
Yeah, go to ericnakamura.com.
Yeah, and we're on there. That's just where it's sitting. But that's where it all feeds from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Meanwhile, let's check out Huntz Lou. Do you on Instagram? It's Huntz Huntz. Huntz
Yeah, Huntz Huntz.
Huntz.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go to
and
Instagram.
stop if you're in the LA area. Make sure you go to GR2 to check out the shows, so you know like what we were talking about,
Yeah.
and get a look at what makes my eyes bleed.
All righty. Thank you.
All right.
Peace.
All right. Peace.
Bye.